Hello and welcome to the Black Feather Guild. Today we're going to be doing the Void Cavalcade, which is a really cool sci-fi game. It's going to be using the Stars Without Number or Numbers. I can't remember if it's plural or singular, but it's going to be very cool. Before we jump in and introduce the cast and get started in the story and everything, though, I wanted to take a quick moment to let you all know about viewer actions. So there's actually a lot of different ways that you can actively participate in the show and the game as a viewer in the audience. One of the most simple ways to do so is through the game tweet, which is right there in chat. So for every 10 interactions on that, that's likes, retweets, and comments, we give a D4 to the cast pool and to the game master pool. So they can basically take those at any point and use them on a roll to boost their numbers. It's really helpful if you're just a little bit shy of a DC, kind of boost you over that hurdle. And I believe this is a 2d6 system, so a d4 is actually pretty darn powerful in this. So great way to help out the cast and or the DM. Other ways that you can do so are through guild coins, which you can see right over here, this little chart. You can do anywhere from 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it goes from inconsequential plot effect to a major plot effect. There's a full description of what all that means in the panels down below, but the inconsequential one is something like renaming a business or an NPC, for example, and the major plot effect typically is a curse or a boon to the party or a specific cast member, up to you. And basically that means they'll have something they really need when they need it, or if you do the curse, they won't have something they really need when they need it. So it can have some significant effects on the story. And then if you'd like to support the channel monetarily, there's some other things that you can do. So this chart over here, you can see all the things that you can get with that. And you can do these donations directly through coffee.com/raven or raven.rocks. You can also do subscriptions, bits, and then we do have options for our patrons on Patreon. So Bard tier and higher patrons get credits towards these viewer actions every month that you can redeem whenever they like. So most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them aren't. So I'll do a quick overview of what these different things do. So the D4 and D6, pretty self-explanatory. The switch allows a player or the DM to tell somebody else that they have to change their action word. So if you have a bard doing the very stereotypical thing of seducing a barmaid, somebody can throw out a switch and say, you have to do something else. And it can't be directly synonymous. They can't just go, oh, I flirt with the barmaid. It has to be something completely different. It's a really fun way to sort of nudge the story in different directions. Roll with advantage, much like in D&D, pretty much any system that we run that on is going to be roll twice, take the higher of the two rolls. Whereas the re-roll, which is slightly more expensive, it allows you to do that after the fact. So advantage has to be called before you make your roll, but a re-roll, if you say you roll a nat 1 and you're like, oh, I really wish I'd used an advantage on that. Well, if you have a re-roll, you can use it after the fact. A complication, you just throw in 1 to 3 sentences. Much like the plot points, the DM does have final say on what actually gets put into the game. So they may edit what your suggestions are or what your complication is to make it fit. But we generally try to stick pretty close to whatever it is that you say. Yeah, just 1 to 3, excuse me, 1 to 3 sentences of whatever you'd like to add into the scene or change or remove from the scene. And that's how that works. Swap 2 players for 5 minutes means that they will swap characters or swap roles. So you can have 2 different cast members playing each other's characters for 5 minutes. Or even a cast member DMing for 5 minutes while the DM plays their character. It can be very amusing. And it's always really fun to see people portraying other people's characters and trying to imitate what they've been doing. And then finally, the 1-up is a safety net. So if you have a character that you're particularly fond of and you really don't want to see them die, a 1-up, if they would go to 0 hit points or otherwise die, Rather than doing that, they just go down to 1 hit point instead, or whatever the equivalent is in the system that is being run. So it's a way that you can. It's not really making them immortal. They're still down to barely any life, and they're still in danger. But you can keep them from just flat out dying. It gives them another shot at getting out of the situation. So that is pretty much everything and how that all runs. So we're gonna go talk to the cast and let them introduce themselves, and we'll jump into the game. So I will see you all afterwards. Bye.
Hello, hello. My name is Jay, and I will be GMing this session. This is kind of our first run through, I think, party-wide with Stars Without Number, but it is a little homebrew, and it's a little loosey-goosey in terms of roles. So if you see something that's not quite right, don't worry about it. It's homebrewed. I am a creator, I am a GM, I am a bunch of other things. None of that's really important today. Here, we're here to learn about the party members. So, Jem, if you would like to start us off, who are you, what do you do, and who are you playing?
Hello, my name is The Only Gem. I am an animator and meme creator on YouTube. You can find on my YouTube channel, The Only Gem. And I'm playing as my character, Luna.
Right on. Let's go over to Hallway. Let's, Chabi, tell us about your character and who you are.
Hello, I am Chabi. I go by Hallway Secrets here, Hallway 7 Secrets over on Twitter. I'm starting to do a little bit of variety streaming, but mostly I'm just a big old nerd who likes playing RPGs and video games. So I want to do more of that while we're all trapped in our houses. I will be playing Willem Sizer, a young pilot, and I'm really excited to get into this game. It's going to be fun.
Perfect. Polished.
Hi, I'm Polished or Polished Cryptid. You can find me under that name on both Twitch and Twitter. I do a lot of the role-playing stuff and a bit of variety when I have the time to do so. And today I'm playing more or less a sentient tree by the name of Autumn.
Always good that you get to call yourself a sentient tree on stream.
Mhm.
Ekinorlax.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ekinorlax. You can find me under this name here on Twitch, mostly on playing TTRPGs on this channel and on Twitter. Today, I will be playing Mips, a mysterious creature, very alien. Not much is known about them. We all will learn.
Very soft, though. Darkora.
Hi, I'm Darkora. You can find me at Darkora on Twitter, on Twitch rather, and Darkora with an underscore on Twitch. I must admit, I don't do a whole lot. Like, I've been meaning to get into streaming, but I've never really had the time to do so. So yeah, I'm relatively new to this, so I apologize if I mess around. I am playing Eva Maddock, a human mechanic with a bit of shooty, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens.
Perfect. So to give the audience a little bit of a primer on what's going on, we're not using the in-game standard setting. We've used a homebrew. So what's happened is humans messed up. They couldn't get faster than light travel to work properly, and Earth is gone for all intents and purposes. What it's been replaced by is a 1,000 light year long stretch of nebula and radiation storms known as Brigand's Fault or the Briar Patch by various other names. It is a no man's land. It is dividing what's known as the Range, which is a large kind of area of space that is civilized. Humans continued voyaging out. It didn't wipe all humans out when Earth disappeared, but it was a bit of a blow. So when aliens showed up on the scene, humans were actually prepared for themselves. The aliens were the ones on the back foot. Over time, it's about the year 2400 now, so given enough time, humans and aliens have learned to cooperate with each other. But no one race has a kind of foothold in the area, even humans. There are large cities on certain planets. There are even civilized sectors of space, whole star systems that have been colonized. But there are no planets much like Earth or the other species' home planets. Terraforming is a mixed bag at best. Sometimes you get radiation storms, sometimes the plants don't taste quite right. But in all effect, there is no Eden for any one race. And that is kind of the driving force for most exploration, is to find some place that you don't have to work to make a home. Now, the Perennial Action Department, which is the equivalent of an adventurer's guild in the sci-fi setting, is what the party is all a part of. This is a guild pool of contractors that can be contracted out to do any kind of job, from assassination to painting a portrait of a noble, all the way up to being a diplomat. The party has been contracted by the beautiful Biff to help take a planet from a small local market to the galactic market. They have found a way to make ceramics that are much stronger and still conductive than most ceramics on the market. And the beautiful Biff wants a cut. But there's a problem. A local scum lord by the name of Rekus, a Hawks alien, is basically skimming more profits than anyone else thought possible. So the party has already taken out one pirate group that was in orbit and potentially under control of Rekus. That remains to be seen. And they have also rescued diplomats that Rekus had captured and sought to ransom for their funds or other equipment. That said, the party also has a now quite lucrative bounty on them on the planet and have been branded as terrorists. The beautiful Biff wants the party to take out Rekus as bloodlessly as possible, as it's frowned upon to murder people, even in space. We go now live to the planet of Tartarus, a desert planet out right in the middle of the empty space of Brigand's Fault. Call it a Eye of the Storm. And we find them planning their way to infiltrate or otherwise get into the starport in the center of the main city, where Rekus is known to be hiding. So you all find yourselves, after last session's events, we did do a session 0 off stream. You had rescued the diplomats, but the security system detected a breach. They did not identify anyone, but you know that they have a bounty out for people of your description. What do you all do? You're in a safe place. You're in kind of a back room of a local merchant's, and they have offered it to you so long as you keep quiet, basically. So you've got your assembled kind of crew around you as well. The remainder of the crew that was hired by the beautiful Biff alongside you, Jem, or Luna, I should say, has come in along with new recruits, new reinforcements, basically. And you have been informed by Biff that there is a bonus if you manage to capture Rekus alive. So what's everyone doing after the last events?
I think Autumn is probably just pacing in this room. She's not used to this type of situation or this type of stress, to be honest. Okay. So I think she's effectively like rustling her leaves, twisting her hands, and sort of waiting for someone else to provide a bit of direction, so she has something to base her reactions off of, because she does not know how to handle this at all.
Gotcha.
Luna's just like sitting like in a corner with like a rubber ball like bouncing on the wall back and forth until she like accidentally messes up and it rolls away from her. She's like, "No, come back."
So everyone's kind of cooling their heels, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Willems, go for it, Meeps.
No, okay. Meeps is using this opportunity to learn, because there's something new. There's somebody new. So they are approaching Luna.
Hello, new friend. What species are you?
Hi, I'm a Beedrin.
You've never heard that name before, Meeps.
I know. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And Meeps made a mental note, and we'll continue to observing to learn the customs of this new species.
All right. So after I'd say about 10, 15 minutes, you've been here roughly 2 or 3 hours. It is the next day, but this is kind of the first time you're all meeting back up after escaping. Meeps is definitely best Meep. The door bursts open, and you see a Trivian, who, for reference to the audience, is a 6-legged lizard. Very kind of about, how did I describe it? About 8 to 10 feet long, not meters. And he bursts in with the biggest grin on his lizard face. I think I know how we're going to get in. Well, oh, there's not as many of you as I thought there was going to be. You recognize this Trivian as one of the crew members you had. You did not get their name, though.
Willem's probably like sulking in a corner somewhere because he feels like he's kind of the reason that the bounty is on their heads right now, because he kind of botched his hack job trying to get to those the caravan diplomats.
Mm-hmm.
But at the prospect of like an actual plan, he sort of like pops his head up and looks over at the Trivian.
Okay.
And kind of waits a second, and he's like, "Oh," when he's musing about the numbers in the room. He's kind of like,
right.
What's the plan?"
So, Brekis has got the whole star part on lockdown, right? So he's got way more guards in there. So I think if we can get some of the locals and maybe some of us in as guards or workers, we might be able to infiltrate and figure out what we can do to get Rekkas out. Because I think they're up high, or maybe they're down low. I don't know what starports look like, to be honest. We usually land just on the planet, but I think we might be able to get in if we get some uniforms, or if we maybe hack some IDs or something. I'm a construction worker. I don't know much about it. I'm just really excited to be here, guys.
I think I can like try to get the uniform, since I'm the only one that probably doesn't have a bounty on my head.
You know, that's a good, I like it. Ooh, newbie, you got what's going on. Okay, so you're on uniforms. What can everyone else do? What are you all good at?
I mean, if we find a source for the ID, I might be able to help a bit. I'm not an expert, but
I could probably work with Autumn on that.
Okay, we got some fixers. I like it. Fixers are good. Yeah, you folks are always the ones I go to when I have problems. There's a lot of problems. So, okay, we got fixers. We got the uniforms. How about you in the corner? And he points at Willem.
Well, hell of a driver, and I'm normally good with computers. I kind of like.
What do you mean normally?
I wouldn't worry about that. Well, he's definitely deflecting from that.
Everyone has an off day, Willem. It's fine.
Yeah, thanks, Eva. Pretty light on my feet, so if you need a runner for anything.
Okay. Well, I think I heard that the locals had those skiffs that you all fixed up. Because I'm new. You know what? I always do this. I always get like 3 minutes in, and then I forget my own name. Sorry. I'm Tolis. And at that,
Willem
kind of like rears up onto all fours and presents a more like human-ish front. So kind of the front is up, and the front arms become arms as opposed to feet.
So he's like a lizard centaur.
Kind of, yeah.
I think the way you described the race to us before is Randall from Monsters Inc.
Basically, yeah. I knew that would come up at some point. But yeah, if anyone's seen Monsters Inc., it's Randall without the sass sometimes. Depends on the person.
Sass optional, Randall.
Yeah. It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
Sass is optional.
So I'd go up to meet him, and I'd
okay. So you
greet him in
kind
the
of
human
shakes your
manner.
hand.
Yeah.
And he seems quite familiar with that custom.
Yeah.
So he goes around, kind of like introduces himself, gets your names. Okay, so we got Fixer. I think Okay, so we got the skiffs. I don't know if you can do anything with those. There's 3 of them. And okay, so we got transport. And what about you, big guy? And he points over to Meeps.
You don't want Meep's help. Meeps patches holes. You don't want to have holes in first place, right?
Well, I guess that's right. Okay.
Correct. No holes. No other. Meeps isn't able to help with them, but that's for the best.
So like a welder? Do you do weld? Is that
No. Holes in your body.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, usually you don't want holes in your body. Yeah, okay. Right. Got it.
Outside the normal ones.
We got a couple fixers. We got a different humans. Yeah, you're good. I like you people. So we got a couple fixers. We got a body fixer. We got a pilot, and we got a runner, I guess, like a smooth talker. You good at
I am kind of smooth talker, but I use but more with a brush than talking.
Ooh, hey, we got some artsy folk. All right, cool. So, okay, I think I got pretty good contacts here in town. Tell you what, I'll go see if I can rustle up someone who might know where uniforms are. You could come with me, and if you want to figure something out with the skiffs, that'd be good. They're and for reference, the skiffs are kind of like they're like big carts, basically, almost like things you would move large machinery on, but they do hover. Not very high off the ground, but they are naturally hovering vehicles. You have 3 of them that are in good repair. You, in fact, used them during your traffic accident last round.
So they are something like from 6 Star Wars on the Tatooine.
Yeah, exactly. They're like a little land speeder almost, but very basic, mostly used for transporting. So, yeah, I think if you come with me, and then if you all want to figure out how we can get in, maybe how we get past security, because let me tell you, last time I was there at the starport, it wasn't that bad. You know, there's guards around, but people kind of came and went. People could actually get off this planet. I think they're putting the whole place in lockdown, so we might not be able to get off the planet if we don't get in there. Well, I mean, we might, but we might have to go in the desert to do it, and it's hot.
That seems less fun.
Yeah, it's real hot.
Yeah, suboptimal.
I don't like sand.
I don't think I'll be able to survive the desert. I probably died of the heat.
Seems right. Yeah, so you come with me, and he gestures to Luna. And anyone else that wants to come with, then we'll do something with it. We'll figure uniforms out. Like I said, I'm usually holding a couple of hammers, so I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, we may need hammers in the plan at some point.
Ooh.
It's always a plan B.
Nervously looking to both, especially Eva, I think, for direction, because again, she's not quite sure which option to go down, and usually,
And
like she's sort of.
Yeah, sorry to jump in. Continue.
I was just going to say, she's often trying to learn, sort of from what Eva is doing, so she's casually always keeping an eye on her in situations like this. For better or worse, I might add.
Kind of like Eva's shadow, almost.
Not quite to that point, but
Not
she's
quite
like,
there?
this person seems to often know what they're doing, and I'd like to learn from that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Meeps is on self-appointed mission to learn, so he prefers to observe. Actually, let's put it differently. Meeps sometimes forget they can help because they're so busy with observing things and learning new stuff.
Too busy
What's this
watching,
thing
not busy enough
do?
doing.
Ooh. Oh, wait for me. And they're catching on. So I will follow the group on the chosen plan.
Okay.
As usually.
So I'll give you a bit of a bone here. You know that the tech that you interacted with at the starport last time was pretty standard. It wasn't anything fancy. There was no like high-tech security system on it. It just happened to have someone watching. But if they're doing a lockdown, Ava especially, you would know this, chances are they're either beefing up the tech side of it, so they might be replacing panels or getting better scanners, or they might be putting more people on watch on those systems.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't suspect a planet of this kind of economy. You don't think they could pull both off.
Okay, so we need to find out which they're doing, and then we can work out our way around it.
Is there a way to observe what the system is doing?
Yes, there is. With that, I think that'll be a skill check. Let me just see which one applies here. Skill list. I think it will either be a notice or a program check, whichever you think is better for you. And if you want to aid Ava on that, Autumn,
I have, gonna be honest, I have no skill at
you have no skill.
program
Okay.
or
I do have
can take a look at
notice.
program.
my guess.
Okay. So who wants to do the check and who wants to aid?
I mean, I can help Will if he's doing it, but that would sort of be with his permission because I'm still a bit awkward about having to do that emergency override.
It worked. It kind of worked last time. I'm open to it.
You okay with that? You sure?
Yeah. I think I need to give it another go.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right.
Yeah, buddy, you got this.
So I'm going to attempt a program in that case.
Okay. So
how do I mechanically help out?
So helping out with you, I'll have you roll a notice.
Yep.
And based on how that comes out, we'll either give a +1 or it won't be. You won't be able to help quite as much as you wanted to, basically.
Okay. That's an 11 for me.
Perfect. So that will give you a +1. So you, Autumn, while you're looking through the various systems, this takes place over about a day. You're looking through different kind of, not necessarily specs, but different things that are available on the planet. So some of the local merchants tell you like, oh, these are the systems we tend to use. Some of the workers that have actually sided with you and have been subsequently fired from the starport, they tell you, oh, these are the kinds of systems I've seen before. I don't know if those are the ones they're using, but this is the kind of thing. So you have an idea of what they might use, and that's how you're giving a +1 to Will.
Okay.
And then you can roll a program check, Will, and see if you have an idea of how to get around it.
Modifier, I have a 1. Yeah. No! Come on.
So, with that is not a fail.
Build online die rollers. A lot.
So, though it's a D6 system, it's not based on Apocalypse World, where a 6 or less is a failure. Instead, in this case, this is something that you have a reasonable amount of experience doing. You don't know fully how you could bypass it, but you do know that if they stick with this kind of system, there is a workaround physically. If they're working with a system like this, you could theoretically cut a line or two in terms of cables, and that would either short circuit it and give you enough time to get in, or it would, let's say, put a gray area on these sensors. So you might be able to make yourself a little entry. It's not ideal, but you think you might be able to make a window.
Okay. Yeah, so we wouldn't have a lot of time to get in, but I think I can put them on the fritz just long enough.
Is it something that we could intercept the signal from sensor to receiver and have it so that it just keeps sending the all clear message?
Right, like make a little feedback in it?
Just bypass
a camera loop.
Yeah, like a camera loop. That's exactly what I'm going for, but high tech.
Let's see. Can you roll me? Do you have no?
I have Eva has +0 in no.
+0 no. Okay, roll me a no. See if you would know how to work around that.
Do I know? No modifier. Attribute intelligence. No mercy. Oh.
Oof, no mercy indeed. conceptually, you know that would work, but you think you might actually need a device for it. You don't think you could work with the system as it is to make that work. You might have to make
Is
something.
there anything from what we looted from the previous mission that might be of assistance there?
Let's see. So from last missions, you found an Atmo filter, which allows you to breathe in either vacuum or some other toxic environment without issue. You also found, I believe, night vision goggles. Let me pull up my notes here real quick. There was night vision goggles, and there was one other thing, which I believe was a line shunt. And what a line shunt is, it allows you to bypass I think it's a physical barrier between you and a line. I just have to get the actual definition of it.
Yeah, it lets you like remotely jack into it if you can just touch the thing.
Mm-hmm. So let me find the actual definition of it.
Was, yeah.
Would I know if this is considered an intelligent system?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Is it a VI or true AI?
From when you were connected to it, you don't think that there is a artificial intelligence or virtual intelligence behind it. You think it's probably a very dumb AI at best. It's more like it's manned by people, because from what you know of systems, you haven't had tons of experience kind of integrating with them. From what you know, it should have tagged you much quicker if it was a virtual or artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So
I'll make sure that I tell Eva about that.
Okay.
Given that I've come across this this system firsthand.
So a line shunt is something you can use to, it must be applied at specific locations within a site to access more well-defended varieties of computerized systems. From basically, it seems like something that you could hack in physically instead of having to get into like a screen or some other kind of terminal. So that could be used to engineer some kind of feedback loop if you can figure out a way to do it. Basically, if you can apply your brain to it, you think you might be able to use that as a very sloppy way to create a feedback loop. So we'll cut over to Luna and Tolus and Meeps. Are you with the other group, or are you with Tolus and Luna?
I would assume that Mips is very characteristic being with the bounty on their head. They would prefer to stay. I mean, if you want, if Tolus and Luna want Mips help, that's quite different. But by default, I would prefer to Mips to stay.
Yeah, that's fine. So you'll stay in the safety bunker with the rest of the team.
And I'm just walking from person to person, trying to stand over them and watch their screen from behind and over the shoulder.
Okay.
With the attitude, oh, what is do?
So you get a few weird looks from the other crew members, as well as some people are actually interested because they heard and some saw your little falling apart incident in the middle of your traffic accident. And they're quite interested to know how the hell you managed to do that and get back to your full state. We'll cut back to that real quick. Luna, you are with Tolus out in the streets. It's busy, it's a busy kind of weekday. People are buying, people are selling on their way to different jobs and things. But you do notice there are a lot more guards than when you first arrived. And they're actually armed. That's something you noticed when you first showed up, was no one really had any guns. They had like stun batons, maybe a tranquilizer pistol or something like that. But now you're seeing fully automatic weapons in the hands of guards.
Jesus, that's a lot of peat packing here. My God, they trying to like turn them into Swiss cheese. What did they do to fuck up this valley for the guards to come?
Okay, they wanted to. Well, the caravan came by, right? And Rekis wanted to capture the diplomats and ransom them. These guys got paid to make that not happen. So from what I heard was one guy fell all apart and started screaming because he got hit by a car. He's fine now. That was the big guy. And the rest of the team broke in and I guess knocked a few guards out somehow, and then rescued the diplomats. But it was a big scene, lots of shouting and arrests. There's a lot of people arrested right now.
Luna's now contemplating if it was a good idea to join this group.
Yeah. So Tolis takes you over to kind of the other side of town, roughly the outskirts from the starport, and knocks on a door, kind of ushered in very quickly and quietly, and you're face to face with an Arcadian. So this Arcadian is a full suit wearing individual. It's hovering off the ground slightly, and it has kind of the rough approximation of a body, just minus the legs. But from what you see through the visor is just like a rough cloud of red mist almost. And it greets you through a voice synthesizer. Hello, it's nice to meet you. I am Boshti, and it's well, it's a time here to be sure. What can I do you for?
Luna leaned over and said, "I heard you could give us some guard uniforms. Is that correct?"
Oh, you're part of that group that came into town and caused all the ruckus, aren't you?
No, that was them. I came by, just recently joined. So
Right. Okay.
I'm clean.
Okay. Good. That's good. Because if I give this to someone who's not clean, chances are there's going to be a high laundry bill. Ha 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 ha.
Nice pun.
There's no facial reaction, but you get the sense that it's kind of smiling at you. So, okay, how many do you need? Because they're not cheap.
All right, so wait, question, how many people are in the group?
In the group total, there's about 11 people, including you and Tolis. But Tolis kind of pipes up like, I don't think we need, I don't think everyone needs guard uniforms. Maybe like
can we get about like 6 uniforms, please?
Yeah, 6 is good. I like 6. Okay. Sizes.
Okay, let's see. What are like the different sizes of the group?
Well, you've got Meeps, who is, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty tall.
Tall.
No.
Or is he kind of short and wide?
Yeah, 5'6" at the best.
Okay. It's a roughly average height, I'd say, among the party. There's no one super tall or super short.
Yeah. Will's probably about a medium.
All right, give me 4 mediums and 2 large.
Yeah, it's okay. I can do that. Give me a day and I can get all that together because I've got to go in. I've got to take all the uniforms, pretend I'm, laundry. And you see on the background, you do see a lot of signs and other kind of suits that look like they are designed to say, laundry in a variety of different languages or kind of like cleaning services. It's clear that this individual uses a lot of aliases.
All right. Well, thanks for the help.
No worries. It should come out to about 50 credits a suit.
Oh, Jesus, that's expensive.
Well, hey, these things don't come cheap. I got to get them out of the guards' hands and then pretend that they go missing. It's pretty risky business.
Can we negotiate to lower the price and maybe I can give you something else in return?
What do you got in mind?
Well, I have about 10 jars of honey.
The hell's honey?
It's this sweet, it's this kind of solid liquid that's the most sweet thing you will ever taste. You can put this in tea, put this on toast, or you can just eat it raw.
Tolis next to you is kind of like hiding just a little bit of like a laugh. The Arcadian looks at you up and down, kind of clearly moving up and down to look at you. I tell you what, you'll give me all 10 jars of that. We'll call it 35 a suit.
Got it.
Okay. So you see him like writing down something in a notebook, slams it shut and tucks it away. Okay, get out of here. We don't need any more heat than we have right now.
All right.
Out there.
See ya.
So you all head back. You get back about the time the rest of the party has figured out the line shunt and the feedback loop issue. So everyone's still kind of working around at data pads. Some people have gone out and brought back food, things like that. What's everyone else doing, if anything?
I am going to try talking to Will at some point.
Okay.
Ideally, if I can find a moment when there's not too many people around.
Yeah, you can find, there's a little side room some people are going off to. There's little moments here and there where you're alone.
Okay. Hey, look, I'm really sorry. I didn't quite know what else to do. I should have talked to you first.
About the no, it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you, caring though, but
yeah, I'm not quite sure what the etiquette is with your type of system. So yeah, just yeah, if it hadn't been an emergency, of course I would have asked, and yeah, I'm really sorry if that wasn't.
Oh no, it was definitely different, but
sorry.
no, it's I appreciate the check-in, but it's fine, really.
That's good.
You did help.
Just wanted to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. She sort of awkwardly, out of nervousness, starts camouflaging like the background.
Nice.
So trying to look like the wall behind her, and it's not quite working out.
You resemble like a bit of a metallic tree.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tolis comes back in. Hey guys, hey, we got it. Well, I mean, we don't have them, but tomorrow we should have them tomorrow for the suits. That is the suits. Luna struck a hell of a deal.
Mm-hmm. If anybody can give me about 60 credits, we'll be able to get them.
Okay. I'm happy to do that.
Did you did you think of a way we could get in?
Well, I should be able to patch into their system. Okay. We were thinking. Eva came up with the idea. Actually, we might be able to kind of set a loop to kind of like pretend like everything's okay, but like electrically, while everything's totally not okay.
Is that like, are you gonna make the computer lie to them?
Kinda.
Oh, that's
Basically,
so cool. Wow. Oh, I wish I could make computers lie. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're all doing the computer lying thing, and then we can just walk in as security guards, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. So he goes over and starts kind of really energetically explaining that same plan in the same words to the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And you get some odd looks every now and then, but it seems like the majority of your crew is willing to go along with it. They've seen you do your work, and while it may not be orthodox, it certainly gets results.
Certainly not orthodox.
Yeah. So the day progresses. If there's anything else anyone wants to do in that day, please speak up. But otherwise, we'll go to you getting some suits and then cut right to the starport. Cool. So the next day follows. The Arcadian Boshti delivers the suits without fail. And the payment in total is, what is that, 70, 140?
It was 210 credits.
210? Okay, thank you.
And I passed Luna those 60 credits.
Perfect.
Thank you.
She asked for.
All right, here's to 210 credits and 10 jars of honey. And I passed him like 10, like, kind of medium-sized jars, so like full of honey over to him.
Well, you know, I've never really had honey before. I don't even know what it is, so I hope it's good.
Try it. You should try it right now. It actually tastes really good.
All right. Okay. So you see the hand of the suit kind of flip up on a hinge, and almost like a fog pouring out of the suit, and it just kind of comes out, slowly undoes the lid, and then just sort of falls into it. And you hear a that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. And you see it's kind of like just being pulled up by a thin stream up into the suit, and the red fog turns a little more orange.
Just out of curiosity, what does Luna look like? Because this stands out to me.
Kind of like an anthropomorphic bee.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, I have been weirded out by you since I met you.
They're like 6 foot tall. They're like yellow, but like they have like that bee abdomen like on their backside with the stinger. They have like, of course, wings and 2 pairs of arms. And also, fun fact: 2 of those arms are actually robotic since she lost them in like an accident.
Yeah. So I think you're actually the only cybernetic person in the party, aside from obviously.
Yeah. So I understand now why Autumn would be creeped out by Luna.
Why are you scared of the bee?
Because she's a plant.
But bees don't eat plants.
Well, no,
they don't eat them.
No, they don't eat them.
Actually, no, they pollinate them.
Yeah, that's
remember
weird.
kids, PG-13.
No, let's not go down that road till later.
Till later. Oh,
Not till the After Dark stream, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, tune in next week for the After Dark.
Autumn's just not used to bees that are like as tall as she is or taller, and it's all like
it's jarring.
Don't worry,
it's a bit like
nice.
bees are not. That's a strange bee.
She's not gonna sting you.
Don't know if it was the stinging she was worried about. So now
Willem's just doing the math on how bees make honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work? So this is the first time any of you have seen a Beedrin. You've heard about them, but you've never actually met one in person. They're very rare to come across.
They mostly spend their time on their planets doing craft and just selling them on ships by other people coming there.
Exactly. You've actually seen more of their crafts than you have of the actual people. But it goes on to the next day. It's getting closer to the quote unquote weekend. So there's more people out. People are relaxing. There's still a lot of armed guards out, but you notice that they're not in the streets as much. They're more around the starport and the surrounding outbuildings. So go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I have to cover the clothing issue first before we leave the building.
Okay. So how do you want to deal with that?
Nibs believes you purchase them a clothing article. Nibs will reimburse you for the purchase.
It's gonna be really hard keeping a straight face on that. That was to you, Luna, I believe.
So what do you want to do with the clothes?
No. Mips just wanted to transfer you money for the purchase.
Oh.
And Mips, dresses in the clothing. More like pours himself into it.
You all watch Meeps kind of like shift like a liquid into this suit from their normally kind of stockier form.
Luna is just like staring like, what did I just see? I should have never left my planet.
Even the people in the crew who've watched you do this still watch with amazement and or horror.
Oh, these legs are long. It will be hard to balance.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd shape compared to what you're used to. A little too thin on the supports. So,
but Mips finishes filling up the suit and
never thought I'd hear
what to do about this face? Aren't there any helmets that come in the set?
You do actually find a helmet that has a blackened visor.
Oh, this will do.
So it's a full blackout visor. It covers the majority. You can still see if you're really close up, but for most intents and purposes, it'll hide you.
Okay. Mips
So
is
how
finished with dressing, theater, and
how's everyone getting to the starport?
Luna's gonna fly there.
Okay. You find the density on this planet's a little like the atmospheric density is a little weird, so it does take you a little longer to get there, but no one really gives you any trouble about it. You don't get shot down or anything by any means. Is everyone else walking? Are you taking kind of public transport or the skiffs?
I think I'll just go with whatever the group is doing as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah. So are the skiffs drivable? I kind of had a push cart in mind.
Yeah, they're drivable. So they have they're kind of like a tiny little seat. It's almost like a wagon seat, so like a little bench in front.
Okay.
And it's got controls on either side, seatbelt obviously, but it's about 2 people for the front of a skiff. But you could all sit in the back of it.
Right. Okay. I mean, Will would be happy enough to drive them at least to a closer location. Probably not to the front door, but
yeah, makes sense.
Works for me. So you drive one of the skiffs over, and Luna meets you there after flying. How do you go about your plan? What do you do?
I think, Autumn is still very aware that she stands out a bit. So she's just trying to draw as little attention to herself as possible. Because it's kind of hard to hide that you have leaves.
With the suit on, it's not too hard to blend in. If you are wearing the suit. Actually, who is wearing a guard suit, just so I know?
I think I would be.
Luna's wearing one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so everyone's kind of suited up. Okay. It's not too hard to hide. There are other helmets that they have and other kind of visors. For close inspection, you don't know if it would hold up, but you think you could probably get along in most cases, kind of from a distance. So what do you want to do as a party or as individuals?
So do we know where we need to go to be able to course this override?
You think...
Or loop?
Can somebody roll me a notice? Whoever wants to roll that, and if anyone wants to aid, roll that first.
I can see if I can notice.
Okay.
Anyone helping out?
Mips is busy with looking all the time, so I guess it would be fitting if I helped.
Okay.
Help first, right?
Yeah, help first.
That would be which of the attributes?
Notice. So I would say with either int or... No, I'd say int, yeah.
Oh. Why isn't it rolling? Oh.
8, okay. Yeah, I'll give you a +1 on that.
Okay. Ooh, no, that is terrible.
Oh.
Wow.
So
I rolled 2 nat ones.
That's pretty bad.
Yep.
That's
So you're,
dreadful. I have no idea.
That's okay. It's nerves, right? So when you come up to the starport, it's not quite a perimeter, but there is definitely a presence of guards. You see armed checkpoints kind of coming up to the main doors of the starport. They're checking, it looks like they're checking everyone that's coming in, and you see some people standing off to the side for some reason. But while you're driving around, you don't really see any unguarded places that you think you could get into without issue.
Can I do notice as I'm in the air to try to see, since I have a sky view, to see if there's anything?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, throw me a notice. Give you a bird's eye view and see if you can spot something different.
Ah, 6.
6? Okay.
Love how good we are at
Yeah,
this.
it's okay.
The
It's not
game
gonna be-
hates
time.
us.
It's feast or famine. We do have a D4. I should have mentioned this actually.
Just level
Yeah.
1 specialists.
On Polish's turn. We do have a D4 if either of you want to use that.
At the risk of metagaming, you do have a better chance of turning it into something
Yeah,
useful.
let
That's
me
fair.
let me roll the d4.
Okay,
Yeah, a 2.
a 2. Okay, I would say that's good enough. So while you're up there, not only do you notice that it looks like they've installed some kind of point defense system on the outside of the starport, which hasn't been shooting at you per se, but you notice it's following you as you're flying around. These little kind of gunport turrets around the perimeter of the starport. But while you're kind of keeping clear of them, you notice that there's one spot there's no guards, and it's near an unmarked door. It almost blends in with the wall. You had to do a few passes to see it, but it looks like it's one of those doors that's kind of flush with the wall, and then if you push it in, it might unseat itself. Very hidden door, like maintenance panel. But that is unguarded, and you think you could probably get in there, you or someone else.
All right, I'm gonna try to go in the door.
Okay. So you land, and there's no, it's clear that you're there, but no one gives you any serious issue. You get a few weird looks, but they all go, "Oh yeah, just a new recruit. It's fine." And what do you do? How do you open the door?
I try to see this like any like buttons or like levers near it to see if, or like a loose brick, quotation marks around brick that I have to pull or push to open it.
Okay. Let me see. I'm going to have you roll another notice for that one because it's at first glance, it's not evident what you could, what's movable on this thing.
Ah, 5.
Oof. Yeah, you're not sure how this thing opens. It's clear that it does. You can just barely see the seam on the door, but there's no levers, there's no like hidden panels that you can feel around it.
Maybe try knocking on it, like hello.
Okay. We're going to cut to the rest of the party real quick. So you're all still in the skiff. Are you kind of just circling the building, or have you parked off somewhere? I'll say the suits have been inbuilt communicators, so you can actually talk with each other.
Okay, we need an edge to get ourselves in there. Like the easiest idea I can have, since we're relatively fresh faces, is we're new recruits. Hi. How well that's going to go?
Do we have, based on the last time we interacted with this group of people, have we learned anything about the routines they've got now that we've been around for a while? So have we like seen new recruits just like drive up? Do we know if there's a process?
That's an interesting question.
Like how much have we learned about how they function?
From what you've been told by the locals, as well as from what you've kind of learned from your surveys or other surveillance, you know that most recruits are bulk, and they're usually from the local populace. It's rare that you see them come in from off-world. In fact, you haven't seen a lot of off-world transport come in the last few weeks. So in terms of recruiting, it seems like Rekus or whoever is doing the recruiting seems to just kind of grab up a bunch of locals and see who wants to make money and who wants to potentially be arrested. It's a very drafting kind of recruit process.
Okay.
But you think you could probably get in just by saying, it may not hold up forever, but you think you could probably talk your way in, at least, as new recruits.
In theory,
you're not sure quite what the process is.
Hi, I'm here for my first day.
Yeah, exactly. You're not sure what the process is once you're inside, but from what you've seen outside, new recruits will basically show up in gear and the guards will kind of just wave them through.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a solid option.
Got the gear.
To
Yeah, we've got
consider the
uniforms.
alternative, what is actually the obstacle we're trying to pass through here? A wall, a force field? Is it a building?
It's a building. Yeah, there's no. You haven't seen any force fields or any fences or anything like that. They have set up a little, like an airport scanner checkpoint.
Maybe to rephrase the question. But essentially, it's open space. It's not a single building. Let's say a tower.
The spaceport itself is a single tower. Yeah, the main tower anyway.
Oh, and we have to get inside this tower.
You suspect that's where Rekus is. Yeah.
Okay, so a mere wall would be easy to scale, but we have to get inside. Okay.
Mm-hmm. There is a main entrance, and they do have kind of a security checkpoint set up over it, but it's kind of like your standard airport doors, fully automatic. You just kind of walk in and then go from there.
Okay, I was merely interested if we have to move through the gate or to get inside some actual building, and this is the latter case. Okay. So no scaling walls.
Not
okay,
likely,
so maybe the recruit plan would be the one we could try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we see Luna going about their business?
If Luna, if you've told them what you're doing, they'll be aware of what you're up to. But if you're not on communicators, then you saw Luna flying around, but you ended up losing them.
Okay.
What do you want to do there, Luna?
I'm gonna toggle the communicators to them.
Okay. So Luna's found kind of like a secret door, roughly, in one of these small outbuildings, or more likely on one of the actual walls near the starport.
Okay.
And she's trying it.
So if we can get through security, then hopefully we should be able to join back up again, go through that door.
Might be a good way in. Might also be a good way out.
Yeah.
Okay,
we might be pushing on a door marked pull.
Yeah, no, that could be.
Or exit only.
So we'll cut back to Luna. You have just knocked on the door, right?
Mm-hmm. What?
So about a minute passes. Nothing really happens. And then you hear... and the door swings outward at you.
I jump back a bit to get hit by the door.
Okay, and you see a Trivian in full guard uniform, very imposing looking kind of lizard face. What?
Sorry, I kind of accidentally kind of locked myself out the door. I need to get back in. Sorry, doing a job,
One of the newbies, right? Always with this. Always with the new kids. Okay, show me your badge.
Oh, wait, do I have a badge?
You do, yeah. Every suit came with its own badge.
All right, I show him my badge.
Okay, so he pulls out a little scanner, scans it, and you hear a... Hang on. Ding! All right. It's crappy tech. What do you think? All right, follow me. We'll get you back to your station.
Luna then proceeds to stop having a mini heart attack when she just heard that error noise. Like, oh, I've been found out.
Okay. So yeah, the Trivian beckons you down this very tight corridor. It's clearly not made for someone of his size, and it descends down into the concrete base of the starport. So while you're following the Trivian, yeah, I think we're probably going to take a quick little break. We'll leave us on the little cliffhanger of you infiltrating by yourself.
I hope I don't get stabbed.
Yeah, so I think we're taking a 15-minute. Is that right, Raven? I think so. 10 minutes? Okay, 10 minutes, fine by me. So 10 minutes, and then we'll all come back to this potentially dangerous situation. Stay tuned. Hey, everybody. We're back from the break, and we're just at the moment where things are getting quite tense. Luna has now been escorted down into the bowels of the starport by a rather surly looking Trivian guard, and the rest of the party is trying to figure out how they're going to be the new recruits on day one. How's everyone figuring out their plan? Are you just going to kind of go up to the front and say, hey, I don't know where I'm supposed to be? What do you think?
I think it's kind of the plan. Also, I don't really know what we're gonna do once we get in there.
Yeah,
But I think we're gonna figure that one out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kind of a seat of your pants plan.
I guess it's not even my pants; it's someone else's pants.
It's somebody else's.
The seat of borrowed pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like
For
a
the
novel.
episode.
Yeah. Seat of borrowed pants. So Tolis is with you and is in full kind of not guard uniform, but in worker uniform. So like big six-legged lizard overalls, if that makes sense, and a loose-fitting cap. And he's kind of like, well, if you guys go in, you could be the guards, and I can just be, I'm just a worker here. I've actually done some work at the starport here. That's how I learned about the job. Because if between you and me, Rekus is a bit of a.
We noticed.
So I'll go in, and maybe if you get in, we can meet up and figure out the plan.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you know the location, if you know the layout a bit better, then that would work.
Yeah. So if you all go up, and you talk to one of the guards, just let them know it's your first day. That's usually how it goes. I think it's probably how it goes. They'll escort you in, and you'll probably have to go through like a brief orientation thing. I always hear the guards complain about orientation. It's like the worst thing. Oh, those stupid videos. But so they'll bring you in to a security office, and then once they do that, you'll be assigned to like a post. You might be outside, you might be inside. There's lots of guards walking around the starport. But if you maybe say you have a preference for hangar duty or something like that, I might be able to meet you there. They kind of keep big tabs on us, so I'll do my best, but I may not be able to meet up with you right away. If things go south, I'd say try and meet by. There's a third floor dumpster exit. It's kind of like a big garbage chute. Try and meet there. It's should be on the west. Kind of holds up all four arms and balances like east side of the building. East side.
I love that.
Okay.
Did Luna tell us where they were going, like where they actually are?
Yeah, Luna, did you tell them roughly where you are?
No, I didn't get the chance because I just knocked on the door and then I just got dragged in.
Yeah, so the last thing you heard from Luna was that you found a secret door, and then nothing.
Great.
Oh.
You could try to raise them on comms.
Like, with the guy that's taking me inside to hear me?
No, it's all kind of inner ear stuff, so
Okay.
only if you're talking back to them.
All right, so guys, I made it in. I don't know how I made it in, but I just did. Didn't even bought it. So I'll see you guys inside.
Well, that was
The
easy.
guard being like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, the guard's kind of like looking back at you like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a little bit of a mind. I have kind of like split personality.
tell me about it. I got 4 of them. None of them pay rent. That was a joke. Fucking recruits. So you're going down the staircase you've been going down. It's been almost 3 minutes and you haven't hit bottom yet.
Jesus, how long do we have to walk?
We're almost there. Quit your complaining. You'll have plenty to walk and to do during the day. Oh, don't think I won't write you up for that. So we'll come back to the rest of the party. What are you all doing?
Well, if
We have achieved 20% of success already with Luna being inside.
Well, if they're able to get away with talking that much, I have a feeling these guards are pretty used to antics. I think we'll be okay. Let's just
Yeah, let's
yeah,
let's go.
let's go.
Let's do this.
Okay. So you all warily approach, it seems, the main gate, and you enter the lineup. It takes a good 5 minutes to reach the front of the line. And as you are waiting in line and kind of watching people get processed through, you see about 70% of the people get turned away. A lot of them look like kind of standard workers or merchants, not really anyone of higher standing, so to say. It's a lot of kind of common folk. And again, most of them do either get turned away or they are put over in a small area, which looks like a kind of detention area with guards standing around it, and they're all sat on benches. And a lot of people seem to be getting funneled over there now.
Is this normal for, like, have we seen this type of thing happen, or is this does it seem like they're really, really screening people?
This looks new here, at least. You haven't heard of this kind of behavior at most starports or even most buildings. This seems not necessarily unnecessary, but it seems a bit overkill.
I want to see if I can overhear from people sort of being sent away, like grumbling about why they weren't let through or anything like that.
Or what they're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Just roll me a notice. That'll be an easy one.
Any particular skill you want me to use?
I would say you could use. I'd say you could use Whiz or Charisma even.
Oh, that's not great either way.
No?
Let's give it a go.
I believe
7.
That's not bad.
That's
I rolled way worse in my days.
That's true. So with that, you can kind
today even
you can catch little snippets here and there. Some of it sounds like, well, of course I had the right permissions, but they just they changed the permissions yesterday, and other things along the lines of a lot of the grumbling seems to be about identifications. It sounds like a lot of the standard accepted applications and identifications are no longer being accepted at the starport. Not so much that the starport's locked down, but that they've narrowed who can actually go in.
Okay. I'll make sure to relay that to the group.
Okay.
Hopefully guards are in that band.
Yeah.
So you do you slowly make your way up, and the guards kind of, they give you a nod. They don't say anything. They just kind of, it looks like a very tired nod, like they've been here for much longer than they thought they would be. It's just like and then points you over at the door. Go on in, head over to the right, look for the big floating bag. And the other guy across goes, you can't call them that. We've had training on this. All right.
You guys get sensitivity training? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm plenty sensitive. Look for the big Arcadian. It's got a big blue stripe on the chest.
All right.
Oh,
okay, thank you.
I'll just nod and walk.
All right, let's keep the line moving, people. So they escort you in, kind of opens the door, just points over in one direction, and heads back to the post. So once you're inside, the inside of the starport is actually pretty nice looking. It's got a kind of retro modern feel to it. So it's got some old stuff. It's got some newer designs, very green, surprisingly. Lots of foliage and different plants, and even some wall growths going all the way up to the ceiling. And looking up, you can actually see its open concept almost all the way to the top of the tower. So you can see railings on different floors. You can see bridges crisscrossing here and there like a little spider's web. And off to the side, you see a floating Arcadian, which is fairly big. If you've seen Arcadians before, this one looks, let's say, old. You know that some Arcadians get bigger with age, and this one's roughly the size of, if it were a human, probably like 350, 400 pounds. They're big. Like they're just big and round and wide. They have a presence to them. And she has a blue stripe on her chest. So
Alright.
noting you all coming in kind of looking around like,
Yep.
Are you all new recruits?
Yes, we are.
Sure
Yeah.
are.
Perfect. Orientation is in 10. Come this way. So
Okay.
are you all going up?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Will's kind of like looking up around in
Mhm.
like wide-eyed wonder,
Right.
while actually looking for the dumpster that Tolas
Nice.
mentioned.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So roll me a notice.
Sure.
This one will be with int for sure. Lots of notices.
9.
Nice.
Nice.
9. Easy peasy. Yeah. So you actually see someone dumping garbage into it as you're looking around. Third floor, east side of the building, just like Tolas said. Pardon me. It looks as though there are grav lifts, kind of just elevators, but they're open. There's no walls or anything on them.
Okay.
That go up to about the 10th floor, and that should get you pretty easy access to that dumpster.
I'll be paying close attention to where I spot plants just for like emergency camouflage if I need it. And also because this sort of mix of tech and plants is really
Right.
appealing to me. in
Right.
general.
It's very aesthetically pleasing.
I'm just like, yes, this is my.
Yeah,
this is
it's
what I
like
like.
home. Yeah. So
Meeps
you
is-
notice. Go ahead, Neeps.
Meeps is just watching everything with, well, it can't be seen because of the visor, but
Right.
it would be a face of glee and happiness.
Okay.
Oh,
So you all very much fit the new recruits kind of look.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't get any fresher faced than Willem.
It's true.
Mm.
It's very true.
Eva, I think, is looking out for any like fire suppression systems
Okay.
that could maybe be taken advantage of to give us a distraction
Sounds
at some
good.
point.
I won't even make you roll for that. You notice that there is a fire suppression about every 10 feet on the walls.
Okay.
It's actually quite uniform, and they're all marked with a yellow and red border. So kind of like you would see with the hazard stripes of yellow and black, like that,
Sure.
but with yellow and red.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere you look, you can be like, oh, there's one, and there's one, and there's one. It looks like they're on every floor. For you, Autumn, you notice that the plants actually grow scarcer as you go higher. So on main floor is actually where most of the plants are.
Okay.
So Lizelt guides you in through a very like cramped door. She kind of squeezes sideways to get through it. And you're welcomed into, if you've seen colleges, you know the large kind of lecture rooms where it's sloped down towards the lectern. That's what you're in. And you see kind of a smattering of different guards, you know, Trivians, Arcadians, a few Polity, and various other races in there, including humans. It's about 30 other people in the room. And Lizelt kind of guides you in, says, find a seat anywhere. We'll start in about 10.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
And she slowly floats down to the front of the room. Luna, you finally hit rock bottom. Literally. You are in a very cavernous space. It looks half finished. Kind of the walls are unfinished hewn rock. And it's cool. It's not cold, but it's got that damp kind of cave feeling to it, humidity-wise. And the Trivian that's been leading you points over to what looks like a old, disused starship husk. It looks like it's been down here for decades, and says, "You're over with cleanup detail 43. Report over to your supervisor over there. Don't let me catch you trying to get out of this. This is what you get for forgetting your whole entry password, all right?"
Sorry. And Luna scurries up over there with her like antennas like laid back against her head.
Okay. The Trivian scurries off, and when you get over there, you notice what looks like a motley crew of guards. Most of them have modified or taken off parts of their uniforms, and it kind of looks like the Breakfast Club of guards people. And they're all in various states of cleaning and otherwise dismantling this big husk of a starship. It's about the size of a frigate. It's pretty big, like the length of a city block. And you see one person standing with not necessarily authority, but a sense of self-pride. and you take them to be the likely supervisor. They're the only one wearing full uniform, at least. What do you do?
I go over like, sorry, I kind of got locked outside. I kind of like got a little scared and forgot, but I'm here now and I'm here to help.
Oh, good. Another one. I don't know why they keep sending you people to me. Whatever. Go and join. What's your name again? And you see a polity stand up. She is, imagine werewolf legs, right? Digit grade, kind of bent back knees. The torso is a smooth oval, and the guard the guard suit is kind of tied around the waist, like you would see a jumpsuit, and her head comes up into a normal-ish looking face, eyes, nose, mouth, and curls back into a nautilus-like shell. The name's Palencia. Remember it. Only said it 15 times today. Palencia. Right, so go join Palencia and start dismantling the ship.
All right, go over to Palencia.
Okay. She eyes you up and down and is like, so what are you in for?
This is actually my first day.
Oh, really? Mine too. No, but what are you in for though? Why are you down here?
I wait, hold on. Luna's just panicking, trying to think of an excuse.
Okay. If you want, roll me a talk check to see if you can kind of bungle your way through not telling her the whole truth.
An 8.
An 8? Yeah, I'd say you come up with enough distraction to kind of rub over the fact that you're here to infiltrate.
Let's just say I kind of tripped and caused a few property damage to be caused.
Okay, I like it. It's okay. We're all misfits down here. Don't worry. This supervisor doesn't know it, but I think there's something coming in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
Keep your eyes and ears open if you have ears. Sorry, I don't mean I've just never seen someone like you.
That's fine. I get that a lot. My kind doesn't really get off our planet that much.
Cool. So yeah, tell me about it. And she hands you a welder and kind of shows you what you're supposed to be doing. While you're doing it, though, you do notice every now and then when the supervisor's not looking or steps away for a moment, you notice Palencia and the other guards start stuffing things into their suits very surreptitiously, but they're clearly stealing or hiding things whenever the supervisor isn't looking. Like welders, some of them have taken bits of the metal itself. You also see one of them take a screwdriver and someone else takes a drill, like they're clearly taking equipment for something. So we'll cut back to the other party real quick. You have just sat through 20 minutes of the driest videos possible. Things on sensitivity, things on lockdown procedures, and the most basic of guard routines. Stay at your post, listen to your superiors, make sure no one gets in that doesn't have proper identification, do not use your gun unless authorized to do so, make sure that you take your break.
Eva has been taking notes.
Yeah,
throughout
I'll
the
be
entire
paying
thing, just like
special
yeah.
close attention.
Okay.
Some fell asleep.
Watching like a most interesting thing.
You're not the only one who fell asleep, Willem. There's a few other people you can tell have nodded off in their helmets. And Lizelt at the front of the room, once all the videos have ended, comes back up and says, okay, do we have any other questions?
Man, I wish Luna was there. She could be like, is mayonnaise an instrument?
It's mayonnaise an instrument.
Mips is using internal radio.
Okay.
I would have questions, but probably we want to keep low profile, right?
Correct.
Okay. Nips is sad.
No.
Sad
Okay.
gas meat.
Well, if nobody has any other questions, I think we can get on with your assignments. So, does anyone here have any prior experience with being a guard? Or security personnel, mercenaries apply?
I'm just going to
People
shake my
raise
head.
their hands. Okay, those of you with military training as well, you'll be reporting to Sector A3 for your assignments. All the rest of you, I'm afraid you've got the short straws. You're going to be on garbage maintenance duty, so you'll be watching over our personnel while they go about their days. You'll also be made sure to you'll be working side by side with them. We make sure we spread out the jobs here. Security is just one of your many duties. You can tell she's given this speech before because halfway through speaking it, she's kind of starting to move her way out the door.
We wanted hanger duty, didn't we? I kind of put my hand up to kind of pull her back and say...
so she stops mid, like, yes?
Yeah. My experience is of a mechanical nature. Is there any chance we could take the assignment and hanger duty?
Roll me a talk.
Those awful words, roll me.
Mm-hmm.
Talk with charisma.
Yeah, definitely
Guessing.
charisma or int. Because you know what you're talking about.
I'll do int, but
Okay.
like, the result's going to be the same.
Okay, fair enough.
One time, no whammies. Oh, yes.
That's pretty good.
That's more like it.
Nice.
So she questions you a bit, but you do rattle off some things about kind of mechanical, hangers, the things you know about. She goes, well, I suppose it shouldn't be a problem. Why don't you go and talk to she kind of, her weird like foam hands, one of them opens up, she kind of like pulls something out of her suit and then hands it to the hand from the fog and closes everything back up. And you can tell she's squinting. Whether she's stalling or not, you're not sure, but you've got the sense that she's like, why don't you go and talk to Zelinsky? Yeah, Officer Zelinsky down in the hangar. They might be able to get you in the right place.
Okay.
Bye now. And she just exits the room without any other information. You see people start kind of milling around, almost like the end of a class where they're like, well, I suppose we're supposed to go do something now.
Yeah.
I think I'll just follow along with Eva. I reckon I could get away with it. I hope.
As could I. Willem's probably just going to gawk at ships the whole time.
Let's go. I think as we go to the hangar, like Eva's just like pointing out details about each of the ships. Like, oh, that's got a Castech Z320 engine. Those things just fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Ignore those ones. That's decent though.
While you're doing that, while you're in the hangar, you do find your way there pretty easily. There's a lot of signs around. Midway through you saying, oh, that one's got a good one, you hear someone go, oh, finally someone with taste. You, if you turn around, you'll see a Hawks trundling up to you. So the Hawks are kind of like giant sea slugs. This one is wearing a suit, but you have seen them outside of their suits before. They're usually very colorful, and their faces are odd to look at. This one seems to have a face mask open, and they have decorated their face enough to make it look as though it's kind of normalized 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, despite not having 2/3 of those features. So you know your way around ships, do you?
I do.
Well, you've come to the right place. What do you know about a 4-cylinder, 500-ton, big old bird like that? And they point down the range to what looks to be a free merchant class frigate.
Okay. Is that the Mark II or the Mark IV free merchant frigate?
Well, now we're getting somewhere. That's a Mark II. You can tell because the aft thrusters have been modified for atmospheric and orbital flight.
Yeah, I've spent some time on them.
Any of the rest of you competent
Oh, we're
mechanics?
here. I thought we are
Do
on
I-
combat duty.
Yeah, are you all following? That's I wonder.
I am.
I'd be following you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Meeps, are you following, or did you go somewhere else?
Because I understand we only Eva gets the hunger duty.
When we kind of milled out of the classroom, no one was watching where we were going.
Oh, all right.
Mm.
So conceivably, you could all have wandered into the hangar at the same
Yeah.
time.
We're essentially
Okay.
all seeking out hangar duty.
Basically.
Yeah.
We don't
Okay,
have
okay,
the duty
okay.
yet.
Yeah.
So we are all here. Okay. Oh,
They
Um,
so-
can.
I want to see if I notice anything that's been fixed up on any of the ships, like pointing out, like I can see that that's been modified or that's been repaired. So
Okay.
the more tinkerer side of things, as opposed to knowing about the models themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You notice a lot of the ships in here look like they've been either retrofitted or kind of made up a little bit. Like you notice a few ships are kind of, for lack of a better term, Frankensteined together.
Mm.
And you know, like, okay, well, that's from a totally different like class of ship, right? You've got one shuttle that looks like it has a capital ship's plating kind of slathered over one side of it.
I'll probably point out something like that in a few different spots.
Okay.
Yeah, just to go, I have a decent idea of fixing things.
Yeah. In response to him, I say, these people can hold tools. They're reasonable.
Well, good, because we need a lot of people to hold tools. So, in case you hadn't noticed, I've got many hands, but not enough things to do with them. So come on along with me. We'll get you sorted right away. You're all new, aren't you?
We are.
Right. So Rekis runs a tight ship. Listen, I'm not a hard ass, but I've got to be because of the people above me. So pull your weight. Don't give me any backlash, and don't do anything weird to the ships unless you have my say so. Okay. These are all technically owned by the people here, but Rekis has final say on who gets what and where they go.
Mhm.
So, well, let's start you over. We'll start you over here, and they point you over to a shuttle nearest kind of the exits, and it looks as though it's seen better days. It's got more paint on it than most asteroid bases have in their entire life. Thing looks like it's probably got plating worth of paint on it.
Jeez.
That's an old courier tug. Thing used to do orbits all the time, going all over the place on this planet, back to the stations, even out to the caravans sometimes. But it's not quite working. Why don't you see if you can fix that up?
Probably the port manifold. Those old things had a real issue with those wearing.
See, I checked that already. But tell you what, why don't you check the exhaust fans? And also, you could check some of the internal electronics. Might be a
Sure.
bug or two in there. And you see what you would assume is a smile perk up. The whole face just kind of goes and then back down.
An actual smile does creep on Willem's face when he
Okay.
hears internal electronics on a ship, because like that's his home.
Mhm.
It's your jam.
Okay. So when you get on closer inspection, this thing is a junker. Like, it's feasible it could fly again, but it would take some serious doing with a skilled mechanic as well. That said, it does have functioning electronics. And what's more, upon a little more investigation, you think it actually has electronics that could patch into nearby systems.
Mhm.
What do you want to do with that?
So if I make a show of doing the fix over thing, keep attention on me and like guiding Meeps and Polished through fixing this,
Right.
and Willem, maybe with some help of one of the other two, could get into the electronics and get the patch in.
Okay.
What do you
And
think?
it's time, and I think it's time you also contacted Luna about meeting to at least getting exchanging information on what's been going on.
Well, I can definitely get the patch in from here, but what are we doing with it? We still don't have. We figured out where to put the distraction, but what are we doing with it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Do we have who actually has the item, like the shunt that we were talking about before?
I believe it was either Autumn or Willem had it.
I have a few shunts just anyway.
Okay.
Because my starting kit came with some.
Right.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
But yeah, either Ava or I would probably have whatever other thing we rig together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Well, so, and this is all through internal comms. Just for clarification, in case we're being listened to.
The Hawks has been watching you, just from outside the ship, kind of talking with other people, but occasionally looks in, sees what's going on.
I'm doing like a solid pantomime of busy and diagnostics and.
Can you roll me? I know you hate that, but can you roll me? Just roll me 2d6 plus your charisma.
Are we able to help, or?
Yeah, I'd say if you're all helping, I'll give you a +1 to it.
Yeah, I'm genuinely trying to fix things.
Yeah,
because Autumn is freaking excited to get to actually play around with things.
Free reign over something, yeah.
I'd be running diagnostics, but I'm not actively fixing anything at the moment.
But with an 8, yeah, you're pretty convincing. Upon closer inspection, they might have a few questions about what's going on, but from a distance, you definitely look like you know what you're doing. So if you all want a minute to think about what you're doing, we can cut to Luna.
So let's assume we also give the information, exchange the information on what happened.
Okay.
And then before we do cut back to Luna, did Tolis have a way to communicate, or are we just like hoping that they show up?
We were hoping to spot him there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Luna, you've been at this for not too long, maybe about another 10 minutes. The supervisor has come and gone a lot, and your fellow misfits jumpsuits keep getting bulkier. Like anytime nothing is nailed down, it's being stowed away somewhere or it's being pocketed. You'd actually notice there's quite a few like sewn in pockets on them as well. And eventually Polincia kind of takes you aside. And this is a bit after you've cut your way into the belly of the ship, and now you're inside starting to take apart electronics. She takes you aside, and another Trivian kind of comes up next to you, and you all hunker down for a second. So listen, I know you're new here, but we don't want to work here anymore, right? Like you don't enjoy this, do you? Do you like cutting ships apart?
I mean, it kind of reminds me of stuff I used to do back home, but just a little bit more boring. So
yeah, it's pretty boring, right? So what we're thinking is we're going to hijack one of the ships, and we're going to get off this rock. What do you say?
I'll help you leave, but I have reasons where I can't lead this plan myself.
Okay, you want to be tied down to this little dust ball, that's your problem. But you want to help us get out of here?
Yeah.
First thing we got to do is we got to take out old stick and ball over there. Got any ideas?
Wait, pass me that medal over there.
So the Trivian hands you a big kind of chunk of metal.
Luna then proceeds to try to remember the steps of how to turn metal into like a metal bat that she'll learn back on her planet.
Okay. Roll me.
Would that probably be like a perform?
I'd say that's more like a work or a fix.
I think it's a work. Since
Yeah,
they're
let's do a
making
work.
something new.
Yeah.
So work with, what would that be with this? Would it be like an intelligence or wisdom?
I'd say int. Yeah. Or dex. Yeah, int or
I
dex
would
for that one.
Dex. And let's see. 5.
Oof. Okay, you make not quite a bat, but you make a bit of like a club. You don't think that you're going to get much use out of it. Yeah, you basically just kind of attach some other bits of metal to it, and now you could swing it. You don't think it's going to last more than a couple of uses, though.
Okay, so I had to make the uses by the count.
And
All right, you get-
Valencia and the other Trivian are kind of looking at the bat you've made like, that's pretty hardcore.
All right, you two distract him and keep him turned away from me, but I sneak behind him and whack him over the head.
Okay. I mean, it's about what we were going to do. I like it. But make sure you hit real hard.
Oh,
Politi.
oh.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Trivian and Palencia both exit with you, and they kind of go over like, hey, Foreman, got to talk to you. What do you want, Palencia? And they start kind of slowly talking while walking and kind of moving them off to the side where they're blocked from view.
Luna takes said blunt object she made and starts to creep over to him until she's behind him. Raises it up, and then wham on his head.
Before you hit, can you roll me
A
a
sneak.
sneak?
So that will also be dexterity as well.
Dexterity, yeah.
6.
You get pretty much right on top of the supervisor. And as you're bringing it down, that is when the supervisor notices you. Can you roll me, I'm trying to remember how attacks in this work. Can you just roll me a basic attack?
So would that be 2d6?
I want to say yes. I think if you click on it on your sheet, this is the first time we've done proper combat. So this is a learning experience for most of us.
I need to find the attack button first. Hold
Let me
on.
look through the actions real quick.
If you're using a weapon, there's a quick menu for it.
There is? Okay.
No, where? Oh yeah, weapons. There we go.
Okay. Let me see if there's also something in the, where are you? Sorry, folks, just a quick little bit of book finding. As I said, the skills in this are a little funky, but main attacks. Okay, can you tell me how to roll a main attack? Would that be something you could tell me, book? Inflict this successful attack. Tell you what, just roll me.
There's also
D20.
a punch, if that's,
Yeah,
that's
D20.
what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So a d20.
Yeah, D20 plus dexterity in this case, or strength.
All right. D20 plus 4. There we go. Yeet. 5.
Oh.
That is a critical fail.
I got a nat 1.
Yeah. So your club kind of falls apart mid-swing. And bits of metal just careen off behind. And by the time it actually connects with the foreman, you're left with the thing you picked up originally, which is just a thin piece of metal. And it kind of just bounces off of your head ineffectually.
Oh no.
Can I just like quickly punch him in the face to like knock him out?
Can you roll me? We're gonna get into combat really quick. Won't take too long. Roll me your initiative. Should be on your sheet there, but if it's not, it's D8 plus your dexterity.
D8.
And apparently, yeah.
I got a 6.
6. Okay, so you do get to go first. So roll me a D20 plus your strength or dex for a punch.
All right. Hiya. 7.
Oof.
This game's rigged.
It's definitely giving you all pretty bad rolls this time, unfortunately. As you go to punch, the foreman kind of lazily just dodges out of the way and grabs you and starts trying to get you into a headlock to pin you to the ground.
Can I try to headbutt him?
Yeah, you can do that. Roll me another d20.
Please, for the love of God.
Valencia and the Trivian are kind of backing away, hands off, like, whoa, what's going on?
Yo, why are they gonna help me? Like, is it doing this 1v1 scuffle? Then I gonna help? All right, please, dice gods, I will sacrifice you a chicken if you let me get like at least a 15.
It's a hell of a thing. Did we have any other d4s? Do we know?
Please. I got a 9.
Oh yeah, still a miss. Kind of doing this, and you don't quite get purchase with the headbutt. Sorry, one sec. Until okay, so we are going to jump back to the rest of the party real quick. I think we're just about approaching the end of the stream here, but what are you all doing while Luna is struggling against the foreman?
We're trying to remember how shunts work.
So shunts are basically a way for you to physically bypass or hack into a system. It's kind of a little like palm-shaped device. You put it over an electronic or a wall where an electronic is behind. I'm going to make it pretty like user-friendly in terms of that. It can work on most things, aside unless it's like, you know, an ancient terminal that doesn't have connection. And what it will allow you to do is access some of the basic features in that system. You won't be able to get everything, but it'll give you a basic like backdoor into the system.
So we need to hide it probably so it lasts longer.
Or just at least make sure we're not spotted while using it. I think the general plan we sort of got to is that we want to either create or wait until there is a distraction, then try to get into the system to get more information, especially about the location of our main target, if we can, and sort of plan for that, unless something goes, you know, tits up.
Of course, providing nothing else happens, yeah.
Yeah, to see if we can use that. We don't think we can get to him today, probably, but it's going to depend on, like, if he happens to be in the room next over, then, you know.
Right. So just so I know what's going on, you want to break in to the system and kind of get information about where Rekus is?
Yeah, that's the main priority.
Okay, so whoever is using the line shunt, and if someone is aiding them as well, I also have to check. I'm not sure if you need to roll on an aid, but we're going to look through that. Whoever is doing the line shunt, can you make me a program check with a, we'll say line shunts give you a +1. At least in this.
To help?
That would likely be me, and then
Okay.
Bottom wants to assist.
Okay, so it is a skill check. So I would say you could either roll program, or if you are helping via other means, I would say roll a connect.
Program or connect. Okay, I was going to go with fix.
Fix could do as well, actually, yeah.
Okay, is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool. That's an 8 on helping.
8, okay, that is a +1.
Alrighty, so program.
Fingers crossed for you.
+1.
Plus another +1.
Huh?
Oh,
whoops. All right, so 15 with the line shunt.
Well,
nice.
There we go.
You redeemed yourself.
And for the reference of people watching, in Serves with a Number, a 14 plus as a skill check difficulty, which this wasn't, by the way, is only a true master has any chance of achieving this at all, and even they will probably fail. You basically just pulled off a miracle. Because you somehow got into...
I've become one with the ship.
Exactly. You got into this aged, decrepit, old, like, male ship. You line shunted in, you got into the system, hacked into the starport system, and you started getting flooded with reports about what's going on. You were getting very basic information in terms of, oh, these guards are over here, you know, these flights have been canceled. Kind of the basic, like if you checked someone's website, that's what you first got.
office hours.
Exactly. Yeah.
Routes.
Here's the number if we're closed.
Yeah.
Please do not assault the starport. Things like that. It's weird that they would stipulate that, but so when you
someone's done it before.
Exactly. You do notice that there is something that someone has tried to not hide, but cover up. When they're like transporting a president or a VIP, they always use like a different name, either a code name or like some false name. You notice one of these because you've seen this kind of thing before. When smugglers are flying their ships, you know that they use a different call sign or false name. And this is what it sounds like, is someone by the name of, the eagle is in the nest, exactly. Someone by the name of Arclis, Cliss, is in meetings all day and should be basically like all guards on the 40th to 50th floor should be on high alert for any VIPs and other personnel not identified. So it sounds from this location, it sounds as though Rekis is somewhere on the 40th or 250th floor, as well as potentially some other VIPs. What do you want to do with that information?
Kind of have like a moment of like excitement and then a moment of panic when you realize that like, high alert
right
means, trouble. But also we did it. We know where he's at.
You also seem to find where Luna is as well.
Yeah, if you want to look for where Luna is, you could probably also find them.
All right. I will make a mental note of that because I will do that as soon as I get stuff processed. So there's also confusion of who might these other VIPs be? Who is this guy meeting with? Obviously, I'm not going to get that information from this, most likely.
Yeah, there's nothing specific. You just see more code names.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I take all that in. I'll relay it. Probably when we leave, I'll relay the actual information.
Okay.
But I might as well. Yeah, I'll think. I'll check on Luna while we're here. Make sure there's no like alerts, like active alerts right now.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Are you checking in on Luna with the connection you have, or just via comms?
It's probably less risky, like from a computer security standpoint, to just ask.
Okay. So
security. Is there
interesting.
Is there any info on like what to do if a red flag comes up as far as guards? Like
as far as you're seeing, the standard procedure, if there is a red flag or if there's a serious breach, is VIPs first, hangar second, and then full starport lockdown third. So in order of priority. Usually what that entails from what you're seeing is armed guards on VIPs, armed guards and lockdown on hangar, and then full lockdown of the facility.
Okay.
What do you want to do? Are you, sorry, just so I'm clear, are you using the computer system to find Luna as well? Or is that, I might have misheard that.
I was thinking like I wouldn't necessarily want to try to get too granular.
Okay.
With the search, because that's usually when you get into trouble.
Fair.
Hacking systems. So it would probably just be easier to try to calm her.
Okay.
And so, of course, I don't know that it's probably actually harder to calm her right now.
Right.
But knowing that I have the info that kind of like I was aiming for, I'm gonna check in on her.
Okay. So what do you say?
Hey Luna, how you doing over there, down there? Where are you?
I've been busy. Oh shit! Hold on. I'm kind of in the middle of a scuffle, so if you guys can come in here and help me before I get my head popped up like a Barbie doll, that'd be great.
I love that was just muffled enough that you're like, I think I know what they said. Like,
Yeah, it's like I didn't
was
quite
perfect.
catch all that, but I definitely know something went hinky.
Something's up.
Yeah, there was the word help.
Yeah, Luna sounds panicked.
Mhm.
So
There's
Luna-
shorter words in that sentence. Yeah.
Luna, while this is going on, can you roll me another attack if you want to try and get out of this grapple? And
I
like,
want to try to sting him.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Roll
Maybe he's allergic.
roll me plus dex. Yeah. Jeez, that would be terrifying. That big of a
Please.
stinger?
Please, for the love of God,
Like,
The
Let
murder hornets
him-
are back.
I believe in the heart of the cards.
please let Luna and channel her inner primitive being and sting the hell out of this guy. No, make her go full wasp and go sting around this guy, please. 21!
Hey, there you go.
Well done. So, can you roll me, let's say, I'm not even going to bother with a roll. I'm not even going to bother with damage. That's
Yeah.
giant ass stinger. Why don't you describe for me what that looks like?
Okay, imagine you're getting a shot at the doctor's, but that needle is like, ooh, like 5 times the size of it. It's like as long as your arm. That's what's happening with her stinger and into the leg of who she's fighting with.
Okay.
It's just a spinal tap in the wrong
Yeah.
place.
It's like, he lost feeling in that leg because she kind of she was just trying to sting him out of panic and actually sting him in like a nerve, so he like lost feeling in like his right leg, causing him to trip, let go of her.
Yeah.
And so, wait, hold on, is the dude allergic to bee venom?
So you sting the foreman. He goes down and he starts twitching. And it starts getting pretty violent in terms of twitching.
Oh dear, looks like this guy was very allergic to my kind's venom.
And Valencia is like, what the fuck did you do to him?
Listen, I panicked. I stung him. I thought he would be one of those people who would be not allergic to our venom.
Your
'cause our
stinger's
venom-
huge.
Listen, it only like injects a little bit of venom, okay? Listen, and most people, it's like a weak venom unless you're like allergic to it. Then it doesn't do anything. Someone might want to put a towel on him and just leave him be.
So the Trivian just starts moving towards the door, and the rest of the misfits start following suit. Palencia's like, I think we need to get the hell out of here, and I think we need to get the hell out of here like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, let's jet.
So they lead you down towards one of the grav lifts in the basement and key it in. And as the doors are shutting, you hear, what the hell happened?
Oh, nothing.
I think
And
it
the
was
grav
doing
lift
drugs
starts
and he-
going up at quite a pace. It's very cramped in there. There's about 7 of you in that lift.
And I've been more sending them like keep it clear, Luna, and most importantly where her stinger is, because she just fucking killed a man with that
Yeah,
thing.
it's possible. It's entirely possible.
So trying to remain calm because we are being watched.
Yep. And Zelensky has kind of poked their head in, like, how's everything going in here?
Can I have used my actual time while the rest of that's been happening to try and properly fix this thing?
Yeah, roll me a fix check. See how far you got.
Okay. Use a submit.
This is my favorite when things go tits up. Yeah, you do quite a bit of work on it, actually. The about half hour that you've spent in here, it looks serviceable now.
Okay.
Whether or not it actually would fly, you're not sure, but it at least looks serviceable. And
I'll have the bird back on its feet in no time.
That's you did a good job. I mean, I've had 10 crews work on this thing for the last month. And they kind of rear up a little bit and do a little like clapping motion with their little feelers. few sets of them going down.
Just jazz hands.
Good job. You're well, I tell you what. Why don't you go all take a break? That's a big thing around here. You got to make sure you take your breaks. Break room is go out that door, and then where is it? Left, right, and then take the grav lift up to the second floor. You should see a big old break kind of open area. There's a cafeteria. It's not bad. It's not great.
Okay.
And we'll see you all in a half hour.
Okay.
Cool.
While you're exiting the ship,
I would like to, if I can, remove the line shunt.
roll me a fix.
This is going to go well. Using
Is my
dexterity.
help
Dexterity,
still
I can say.
active, or
Is your which, sorry?
is my help still active, given that it's
Yes.
the same procedure? Okay.
Okay.
It looks as though you two are kind of finishing something up.
Ooh, I got a 5.
And you hear and Zelensky looks back in like, what was that?
Oh, we had some problems with the internal electrical systems. Yeah, the only thing we haven't really gotten to yet. It keeps sapping us. Shouldn't be a major fix, but it's going to take a little while. It's a bit unstable.
Fuses.
I'll take a look at it while you're on break. So
Do I know if it can be detected once a shunt is removed that it has been used?
Just from looking at it, you know that it's a pretty decent sized hole, and it looks as though something kind of like bored in and then grasped onto like wires and some other circuit boards. It doesn't look like a fix by any means. So close inspection probably would reveal something's up.
Okay. I'm happy to stay behind and work on it a while longer if we can get it sorted and then take a break after that.
Sorry, we're pretty strict about breaks around here.
Have you taken one yourself?
Yep, I took my break about 15 minutes ago while you were all so busy working.
Good thinking.
Can I see if while we're sort of finishing up this sort of thing, can do anything to help make this less noticeable?
You want to kind of like jury rig a fix over it?
Like a
so to
patch
say?
weld or
Yeah,
something
just
like that.
sort of go like, or even make it look like it's been way old, like it's way older and someone else did it
like
before.
it's from wear over time.
Or
Yeah,
like blacken
exactly,
the
or-
outside of it, make it look like it's damaged.
Yeah, or just like,
Okay.
even if I make it go look like a previous crew has done it, or...
Roll me another fix, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I can assist with this as well. I've got I dare say I've got a thing in my
That'll be good.
in my pack that can help.
All right, so both of us rolling fix or helping?
Yeah, if you're aiding Ava, I should say if Ava is aiding, go ahead and roll your fix first.
Okay.
See what you get.
Fix, submit, dexterity. Let's go.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll say there's a +1. Go ahead and roll Autumn.
That's a 9.
Okay.
That is just enough. So you get like another plate and you fix it up in place, and it's loose. There's some char marks around it. You kind of stuff some loose wires in there, and you mainly detach the circuit board that you had hacked into, and you kind of just like tuck it away somewhere. And as Zelensky kind of comes past you as you're leaving the ship to go on your break, starts getting down around, they're surprisingly squishy. They kind of just like form underneath the dashboard and just like fit into it. They start going, oh, yep. You see this all the time. Burnt out circuits. It's great. These old boats, they run too hot, you know.
Yeah, they weren't designed for that amount of current.
Yeah, it's almost 40 years old, this whole thing.
Okay, let's get out of here before he notices.
Let's get that break. Procedures can't be ignored.
It's true.
Yeah, indeed.
So
Safety third, you know what they say.
you're out of the ship and you're walking towards the doors. And from the other end of the hangar, you hear what sounds almost like a gunshot. You know what a nail gun sounds like? Imagine that, but louder. So you hear a pa-chum, pa-chum from the other side of the hangar, and you hear screams. Luna, your group has just exited the grav lift into the hangar, and they are firing nail guns and other tools at the guards.
Can I just try to? Hey guys, you look. I guess this is time where we split. So I'll see you probably in
I
the
got
future.
a thing to do.
Yeah, I got people to help. So I'll see ya.
In the
We'll do lunch at
commotion-
some point.
Yeah, exactly. I'll call you. Don't call me.
Yeah.
In the commotion, you do manage to get a fair bit away. But with all the commotion going on, all eyes are on that group and you. And the guards from the other, from near where actually the rest of the party is, start running towards the fight.
Is there like any place where I can hide?
Yeah, there's ships and other like crates and things like that. Roll me a sneak.
All right, sneak.
I kind of look over to Autumn and Eva and be like, "Yeah, I was gonna mention that."
Hey,
Yeah,
Nice.
you manage to kind of like duck in somewhere and look like you're doing something when the guards come past.
what? Okay, once the guards pass, I'm gonna keep booking it until I can try to find the rest of the people in the group.
Okay, you notice some guards kind of like standing around. Are you all standing around, or are you still like?
I think I'm trying. I don't know what everyone else is doing, but I think my instinct is to try to fit in with the guards who are running towards it.
Okay,
Because it's
That's
going to look
exactly.
really weird if we ignore
right,
something
right.
like that.
Well, we're on break. We've been instructed to go on break, and they're serious about breaks. So let's
Did they
keep going
tell
for our
us?
breaks.
Did they tell us if an emergency overrides their break policy?
And
You remember
shooting-
something about the video saying you can't fight intruders on an empty stomach.
There you go. Time. Let's go. Second floor.
Okay, in that case, no. Then we stick to procedure.
Okay, so you see a group of guards, Luna, that look roughly like the people you came in with, and they're headed just kind of back into the starport. They don't look concerned.
Please, for the love of God, let this be my group and not just
Yeah.
something that I took this
Yeah.
moment to.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, so you notice one of them like doing that to you, and it looks like
over here.
looks like Meeps.
And then Luna like collapses on the floor out of exhaustion. What just happened to her? I think I killed someone.
I am pulling Luna off of her, like straight up on the floor, going, "We are going on break. Everything is fine."
Do you need medical assistance?
You're not too hurt.
Iggy's like, wait, can bees cry?
That's a good question. Can bees cry, Luna?
Dear Google, can bees cry?
Yeah.
It's yes and no at the same time. Like you
Okay.
see some sort of liquid, but you don't know
Okay.
if that's tears coming out of her eyes.
Meeps has the general med pack. I assume something.
Yeah,
med
your
kit,
standard
something
kind of
for
med kit.
something for a psychological distress. There would be also there.
At least
Yeah,
a
you-
lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. You find some kind of like a stimulant, something to calm the nerves a bit.
We believe you are in a huge amount of distress. Please accept this medicine.
You don't think I'm in distress?
I am. So my leaves are controllable because they're
Mhm.
part of my branches. I am going to try to, if this is happening out loud, to
Right.
literally wrap them around Luna's mouth
Okay.
as we're walking calmly towards the break room, looking a bit like, you know, when you've got an arm over. a
Of
friend's
course. Yeah.
shoulder.
You're just,
Yeah.
getting your
Everything is
coworker-
fine.
Everything's fine. Shush.
yeah.
And,
I didn't know there were a mistake.
real quick.
You'll be right.
Okay, it's fine. Everything is under control. Let's go.
You get a few
Stressful
weird
first
looks.
day is all.
Nobody. They kind of like, oh yeah, nerves, right? First gunfight.
First day nerves.
Yeah, totally understandable. I remember my first gunfight. You're missing both hands. Kind of like, I remember my first gunfight. Yep, it's a hell of a thing.
It was my last one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wait. I mean, if you possibly could shoot a gun with your feet.
Well, how did you know? So you all head up to the second floor break room,
Yeah.
and as you're
Yeah.
going, you see other guards like streaming in troops. They look very calm, surprisingly, and they stream into the hangar. You hear over the announcement, "Please remain free of the hangar. The hangar is currently off limits. Thank you." And you hear, as you get up to the second floor, you hear like really heavy bolt kind of ka-chunks from the doors to the hangar.
Okay.
Well, that would be
I
locked
feel
down.
like I feel like this is kind of my fault.
Yeah.
At
Not
least we got
fault,
out before the
you're just kind of
lockdown.
involved with it.
I'll take any distraction I can get.
So you're up on the second floor. Across from the grav lift, you can see what looks to be a cafeteria, plenty of plants and people kind of eating and socializing.
So, I think in the current situation, we should maybe, I don't know, leave actually the building. So
Listen, I think this distraction is much bigger than we planned to achieve.
Just a wee
Shouldn't
bit.
we leave the building?
I think we'll just draw more attention if we do. I think we finish our
Yeah.
workday.
I don't think we're going to have a better opportunity than this.
Even if we can't get to Wreckers, get to the target,
Yeah.
to finish today's job, not drawing more attention would probably be good.
Yeah.
I say, and I
well-
kind of wrap an arm around each of Eva and Autumn.
Right.
I say we go get lunch.
What are they serving in the lunch?
I'll find out.
Okay.
They're serving a lot. There's actually a pretty wide variety of menus, and it's catered to basically every race that's in the range, including the races present here. You find your standard fare. It's like, mac and cheese equivalents and things like that. So it's basic, but it's your favorites.
Luna just
or at
has like
least-
a bowl of flowers that she's just eating.
Nice.
I am a tad weirded out by
I was gonna say, how does Autumn feel about it?
Is
If
it
you-
cannibalism? Like,
If you think it's weird what happens when she's eating flowers, you should see when she makes honey.
tune in later for the late night stream.
Yeah.
no, like
What?
legit, like bee vomit.
Dude.
Yep.
Probably not best practice to do that while eating, though.
No.
So you're all eating.
Mhm.
Are you doing anything else while you're eating?
I would like to communicate what I've learned.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's loud enough and
Very
you feel like you
hushedly.
can get away with it if you're quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found some of what we're looking for. It looks like they are somewhere in. Do I know that 40 and 50 are the top 10 floors, or?
They're about the top 10.
Are
Yeah,
there-
there's like
okay.
5 floors above that, but they're not really floors per se.
Okay. So they're in meetings all day today. I don't know about how that extends, but they'll be on floors 40 through 50, and apparently there are other VIPs. I don't know who they are. And that's suspicious to me.
Would we know of any VIPs that are likely to be meeting with this person, given, we know a bit about current events
Right.
because we're the cause of them.
Yeah.
So
Part
do
of
we have
the
any
reason.
idea of who it might be?
Tell you what. Can I get everyone to roll me just roll me an int check. 2d6 plus your intelligence.
86 it is.
Plus modifier?
Yeah, int for modifier.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's okay. 4 and a 7 and a 7 and and a 14.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Neeps is on point.
That was
D26.
type. Yep,
Oh, I was wondering. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that was a typo. That's more
Okay.
like it.
okay.
That's actually pretty bad considering.
yeah, that's true. It's half.
I mean, on the par for the curse.
Yeah. Luna, did you want to roll one as well?
Sure.
Sure.
So a 2d6 plus
2d6
what?
plus your int. Yeah.
All right. Hold on. 2d6. Please work with me. 2d6 plus 11.
Ooh. Okay, so for those of you with 6 and above, you know that they VIPs on that might be communicating with Rekus are likely other business partners or merchants, but there weren't any real big names thrown around that you can remember that might fit in this situation. Luna, you actually know that one of the VIPs on this planet, from who you were talking with Tolas while you were getting the uniforms, one of the kind of bigwigs in terms of making things and otherwise, wants to get in on the deal with Rekus and wants a cut of the ceramics in return for more production. That individual is a Arcadian by the name of Golm, Golm. And they are a very big trader on this planet with even bigger ideas. So you know them as kind of they're a big deal. So if you want to share that information with the rest of the party, you can just kind of, they can know what I just said, basically.
It seems like there's still someone that's in cahoots with the big bad.
Do you have a bit more information?
Seems like in return for more production, they'll give some of the ceramics that he's been holding out on the rest of us.
Do you have a name?
Excuse me, I forgot the name because I'm dumb.
Golm. It's all good.
The name is Golm.
Do we know what race or species Golem might be?
Golm is an Arcadian.
An Arcadian.
And when you hear the name Golm, it kind of clicks in like that was one of the VIPs.
Okay.
Or not necessarily, sorry, VIPs, but one of the local business people who wanted to side with Rekus.
So they want a cut.
So maybe if we get them and interrogate them to spill the beans, we can know more about how to take care of you know who.
Another thing we might do, if we're able to get in on Golm's good side, we might be able to eventually get our way into a meeting. If we pretend that we're defectors or something like that, and that we have insider information on this act of treason and terrorism, that might be enough to buy us a way in.
Sounds like a possibility, yeah.
Because we're in lockdown. I don't think we're going to be able to get in even in the guard uniform. Maybe once it opens up, if we're able to be just outside the doors, but it seems a very high risk to try to get in now.
From what we understand of the security protocols, they will have locked down the VIPs first and then done this lockdown of the hangar. Is that correct? Or
yes, seems reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Then
whether or not the VIPs are actually locked down, you can't say. But the hangar is locked, and while you're eating, you do see guards going up and starting to kind of go through procedures to lock the doors.
Yeah.
To this place?
Yeah. To the starport itself, the front doors.
Right. Well, we're not going to be able to get out for a while.
You said Golem is a local, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe we could find them, post this, and see what we can do.
Maybe we put Biff in touch with Golem?
Yeah. That's an
Take
interesting
Rex's legs out
prospect.
from under him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, yeah, but there's the matter of how long do we keep our current jobs?
As long as it's useful.
Tune in 3 weeks from now when we're still in guard patrol.
We should have rostered days off, if nothing else.
Yes.
Union has a strong role here.
It's true. It's very true.
Mhm.
I'm sure we'll have PTO to clock in at some point.
Yeah. So time-wise, you know your break is just about done. You're about, 5, maybe 10 minutes down.
But we also won't be able to return to hangar anyway.
Yeah.
So we can try. Where would Telus be at this point?
Tolus would be. I think Tolus.
We haven't seen them, have we?
Yeah, no, you haven't seen them even while you're on break here.
He was supposed to work on hangar, so would be still locked down in the hangar?
Could be, unless he got out before the lockdown, depending.
He could also, if I remember correctly, the rendezvous points were either in the hangar or at that garbage chute. Right? Or is that within the hangar?
No, that's right.
structure?
Yeah. So when you mention garbage chute, if anyone looks up, you do see a Trivian kind of. You know that look when you see one of your coworkers who's definitely not working but is making the effort to look like they are.
Yeah. On the last 15
Trivian-
minutes of their shift.
Exactly. You see a Trivian kind of dicking around pretending to work up by that garbage chute.
I think that's him over there.
Let's go over there, I guess.
Okay. So you head over, you go up the grav lift up to the 3rd floor. And as you come around the corner, you see it is Tolus. And he looks concerned. He's
fair.
kind of looking between all of you and trying not to give off that something's wrong, but kind of beckons you over.
Okay, let's go over.
What's going on? Why did they lock the hangars?
I give Luna some side eye.
Some workers decided they weren't happy. They started themselves a little insurrection.
There was a riot that happened. That may or may not be my fault.
Nope, it's 100% not your fault.
Yeah,
Nudge,
100% not your
nudge.
fault.
Yeah, no, stick with that. That's good. Don't make that your fault. Because what are we gonna do? They just locked the front doors.
Just finish our workday.
We could go through the roof.
Don't.
No,
What?
that'll be more secure.
I
They would have
mean,
already locked down the offices on the top floors.
I mean, yeah, but there's service elevators.
Maybe the vents.
Ooh, vents. That's a good.
Why are we desperate to get out now? Is there something I don't know about?
Oh.
I mean, I just want to get out so we don't get shot. Really? That's all I'm worried
You
about.
think you're going to be discovered?
Let's just say that our covers aren't as good as we think they are. They probably won't hold up to really close inspection.
And plus, I probably want to skedaddle because what if they find my venom inside that guy I accidentally stung?
I'm sorry, you're what?
Yeah, this is news.
Oh.
So I was in a bit of a scuffle. I was fighting, and whenever I get scared, I just tend to sting at random, and I might have stung a guy who might have been allergic to my venom, which, in my defense, I didn't know.
Okay, so where do we get out here? We can't go out through the door you came in. Because it's past the shooting. Is there still shooting, or is this a quelled rebellion at this point?
It's pretty quelled as far as noise goes. You don't hear
Okay.
any more announcements, and the guards don't come out of the hangar, but no more guards go in.
Okay.
Yeah. No, my strong instinct is to just finish the workday, draw as little attention as possible.
Yeah.
Because we, since we covered up the hacking, I think it's only Luna who's in active danger.
Right.
Because we weren't anywhere near that rebellion. I'm not sure about Tollus.
We would
Backup
even have
plan.
an alibi in form of our superior that could be our
Yeah.
witness to the fact that we had nothing to do with this.
Luna, can you
No.
maybe blend in with the other guards? Like join a...
I'll try.
Backup
Or-
plan in case that doesn't work. Hey,
Yeah.
Tolis, where does this lead? And I point to the chute.
Okay, so
Outside or compactor / fire?
Incinerator.
both, kind of.
All right.
So like I don't know if I would jump in it myself, but
What if you could
But-
fly?
Hmm.
well, I mean, if I could fly, I'd do a lot of things.
I could fly.
That's
Oh.
yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
Yeah.
that might work.
Does it lead? Where does the chute lead up?
So where it
if we were to
goes is
fly
it goes down into this big ass box thing. The box thing then goes compact, but there's a little access hatch which I could go down and open. So if you fly down, you could probably get up out of that access hatch, and then you're outside the starport.
All right. Well,
Just if you are outside the starport, just remember there's guns on the outside of the starport and probably other guards. So it's not like you're home free, but you're out of the starport.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that as like a last resort. Like if there's no other option to escape.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely Plan B.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe plan C.
Plan F, probably.
Oh, Will's just grinning to himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop being creepy.
Yeah.
I think Will is just happy that it was someone else this time.
Like I didn't cause the commotion.
Oh no, he's definitely grinning to himself for his Plan B pun.
Yes.
Ah,
True.
Well done.
Blue doesn't
All
mean
right.
ha 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 ha. Very funny, Willis.
Close enough, I guess.
D+.
So
B minus.
Have we seen literally any other
sorry.
bee people? Because sorry, I forgot your species name.
Vedrin?
Vedrin. Have we
You-
seen any of them?
Not on this planet, no.
Yeah, you're gonna stand out.
So it's the same situation as with Mips.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, I got a plan, and I just pull out some paints that I had stored away to like change my face and fur color to be looks like a different species.
Okay.
Mips thinks it would be still better if you left the starport as soon as possible.
If you're gonna do kind of like a disguise on yourself to change your appearance, can you roll me a perform?
Hey,
And
this is in my department.
ideally, this should be somewhere where you're not being watched.
All right, would that be
Maybe
like
in a bathroom or
a,
something?
Yeah.
a charisma or like a dexterity?
I'd say dexterity or int.
Let's do dexterity. So
Yeah.
Luna goes to like a secluded area where
Mm-hmm.
she knows no one's looking and then does the makeup.
Okay.
10.
Oof.
Nice.
I then look
Not bad.
different.
Pretty good
I,
job.
I come back to like, hey, so what you guys think?
Is the stinger still visible?
Still
As
visible,
a stinger?
but not quite looking like a stinger.
Okay.
Luna's done a pretty decent job, actually, of making everything look a little different. You now look more like almost like an ant than a bee. So you still got the big kind of back end, but it doesn't look like a bee's. back
Kind of
end.
like a soldier ant kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you've
Okay.
got more the drab, like red brown kind of look to you.
Instead of like the bright yellow and kind
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
brown.
You don't know how
Oh,
long it's going to hold up, but
As long as I don't get wet, I'm
exactly.
fine.
Yeah. close inspection, someone might notice, but it'll hold up to most looks.
Okay, well,
What are y'all doing?
I think our break is up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Head back as best we can.
Okay. So if you head back down to the hangar doors, there's now guards flanking both doors, and one of them holds their hands up like, "What's your business?
Coming back to work. We've just been on our mandated 30.
Can I check all your badges, please?"
Badge.
Hold up my badge.
Hold up my
so
badge as well.
they scan all your badges. Luna, again, your badge beeps once before it works, and they
There's
kind of
always
give you a
some-
little side eye.
There's always some, defective old badges. Should be replaced at some point.
You should get that changed right away. We are in
Uh,
lockdown, and that kind of thing might get you thrown in the brig,
All right, will do, sir.
ma'am. But thank you. So if you'll follow me, we're gonna go over to the security office, and we'll get you a new badge.
All right.
So they let the rest of you in, and I promise I'm not segregating you. Like
This
how
is
things
a
worked out.
sickness.
So she takes you over to the security office, and you wait about 5 minutes to get a new badge printed out.
Oh.
They toss your old one in the garbage. They scan it to make sure, and it scans perfectly fine. And she ushers you back to the hangar. For the rest of you, before Luna comes back in, the hangar it looks more like a military field now. There are guards everywhere in like 3s and 4s. Most of the other workers have at least one guard looking over them while they're working. And you see off in the distance what look like not guards, but they look like suits almost. Like they look like they're business people or other people that are in charge. And they're talking with a group of soldiers roughly where you saw Luna booking from. What do you do?
Find our supervisor and ask.
Okay. So you find Zelensky talking with some soldiers. They look very annoyed at the soldiers, and they once they see you, they kind of like, I've got to go make sure I take care of all my my assistants, and they come over. Do you know anything about? I have to ask you. Do you know anything about what happened?
No, we just started hearing things go bonkers as soon as we left for our break.
That's about right.
What's going on?
I mean, you sent us on the break. We didn't choose the time.
Yep. No, I'm not saying your fault or anything. So it looks like some guards went AWOL.
That's horrible.
Wow. Why would you sign up to be a guard and then just attack people
Man, that sounds
you're supposed to be
illogical.
guarding? God.
Yeah. Well, it's taken care of now.
Awesome.
And then Luna's praying on the inside, hope those guys don't rat me out.
Yeah. They're I think they took them out about 10 minutes ago. So you shouldn't have to see anything nasty.
Okay. So do we just go back to working on the shuttle, or is everything?
Tell you what. Yeah, let's go back to working on the shuttle. I'll come with you, and we'll work together, try and get this boat ship shape. Just we're gonna have some armed personnel looking over us while we're doing it.
Oh, good.
I'll just be doing my job to the best of my abilities for the rest of the day.
I would actually try to fix the electrical
Yeah.
systems,
Okay.
particularly the ones that we
Yes.
exploded.
As you do. Can I get everyone who's fixing to roll me a fix check?
One
ahead,
thing
Meeps.
first, I would like to.
6.
If there was some accident, I have received basic medical training. Can I be of any assistance, Mr. Zelensky?
Well, unless you can bring people back from multiple, well, let's just say they're not really, they're dead.
Are they Swiss cheese?
Oops.
Yeah.
That is indeed beyond any medical training I've received.
Is there anyone that lost a limb during that fight? Because I could make some prosthetics if you guys need it.
Well, yes and no. They're dead. So the prosthetic may not help.
Anyone that's living that did lose an arm and survived?
Let's just go and work on the ship.
Okay then.
I think that's a good idea.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
Spend my 1d4, by the way. So
Yeah,
it's
I
a
saw
total of
that.
9. Cool.
Okay.
and then I had a question before I rolled. Would it be feasible to use program over fix?
Yeah, I can see that.
Actually, it doesn't really matter now that I look at it. Oh well.
Either or. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, the same
In this
number.
case.
8.
Okay, yeah, you do a fairly good job as you're going about your business. By the end of the workday, things have calmed down in the hangar, and everything looks like it's getting back to normal. Near the end of the day, the guards watching you kind of taper off, and they leave for other shifts. So Zelensky looks decidedly more relieved, more relaxed by the end of the day.
My fix was a 15.
Yes, it was. You actually fixed it so well, you actually got it started.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
You're a miracle worker.
It's like the
It's-
Jesus of engineering.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
Zelensky is kind of like, what?
You're one step away from a promotion already.
Yeah.
You about to get a raise, boy?
Yeah.
You keep something like that up, and I think I might have to, what's that saying? I'll have to run after the money. Is that right?
Close enough. Sure.
It's,
You can give me a run for my money.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Run for my money. I don't know what does that mean?
It means that you're so good that he's gonna replace you.
I mean, if I get this working, you won't have to run. You can ride it.
Fly.
You just fly
Oh,
away.
yeah.
We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to fly in it. I don't know how to fly. I just fix things.
Don't worry, those figures of speech have me baffled sometimes though.
Yeah, you know what's going on. Yeah.
When he says we're not allowed to fly them, I kind of get sad.
Oh.
Oh, I want to fly.
Well, let's see. It's the end of the workday, so we'll see you here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Kind of side eyes Luna, like, okay. They don't usually. They frown upon people leaving without notice, so I'd let them know.
Mhm.
But Zelensky frees you from your duties, so to say. What do you all do? Do you all just kind of head out?
The
Yep.
front door is unlocked now.
Yep.
Yep. I just
Okay, then, yeah.
everything is normal.
Yep. Leave like normal. It's a normal
Okay.
working day.
Yep.
All right.
So you all
Head back
leave.
to the skiff.
Yep. You all take your prospective transport home, whether flying or skiff. You head back to the secret base. And by the time you get there, Tolis has already arrived and is kind of informing people of the day's events thus far. And when you come in, Tolis gives you a look that does not look happy. And he kind of looks you all up and down like, there's a problem.
What's the problem?
I think they're on to us. That's where we're going to end today.
Ooh.
Bam, bam, bam.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Purely because anything more than that, and we won't have a good spot to pause at.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Definitely feels like that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's you all survived. No one took any serious injury.
Almost didn't
Luna
get
killed
shot.
the man.
He got it what he wanted.
No one got shot, and you fixed a ship. Well done.
Yeah.
Luna killed a guy.
Luna killed a guy.
Yep.
Standard workday stuff.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go backwards from the order we did before. So Darkora, why don't you tell us what your favorite part of the whole shebang was?
Favorite part. I had a lot of fun. Basically doing the mechanics
Mm-hmm.
of that. Rolling good feels good.
It does.
I really enjoyed, like just from a watching point of view, Luna's infiltration. I'm gonna bunny is that.
Escapades.
That was your escapades were hilarious.
They were good.
A lot.
Econorlax, what was your favorite bit?
Well, Meeps was just mostly to tag along and observe because nothing was within the range of their expertise
Mhm.
this session. But my favorite part was Luna's escape from this situation.
It was
And-
definitely a tale.
No, I mean more the part after it happened, how the role play of this entire. Oh my God! I think I've killed a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
Oh,
cat.
that was very amusing, I will admit. Polished, what was your favorite bit?
I think the whole breakdown in the corridor scene was pretty good. It's like, no, everything is fine.
Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about.
People regularly collapse in the corridor yelling
Yeah.
about murder.
Yeah, you know,
Normal
it's
around
nice.
here.
Just hang
Yeah.
the problems. It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
I love that we
They
were
just
able to-
accidentally dropped their ice cream. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love
That's
that we were able to
overdramatic.
pull that off.
exactly. Chubby, what was your favorite bit?
So I actually really liked, and I'm gonna be mildly cryptic here, but I
Mm.
really liked the scene with Willem and Autumn.
Okay.
Just because of what that was about, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to kind of reveal what that was about later.
No, I
on.
like that. Yeah, it was a very
yeah.
touching moment.
That was
That was
very
nice.
good. That was probably like the biggest standout moment, but yeah, the rest was
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
great.
Jem, what was your favorite bit?
I think it has to be the part where the game stops fucking me over, gets me a good roll, and then Luna proceeds to stab someone with the equivalent of like a javelin into
Yeah.
the leg. It makes them convulse on the floor.
Yeah,
Stab it with your butt.
that was a hell of a roll too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna miss it, or sticker's gonna probably break off.
right. But no, sometimes it gives, and sometimes it helps you feel like that.
away. It gives us,
Yeah.
it takes us away.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was watching you all kind of fly by the seat of your pants to get into the starport, whether by infiltrating and kind of knocking on the door or just walking up and being like, yep, it's our first day here, everything's fine. I think the whole progression of we don't know what we're doing to, no, we're just your standard guards. This is a standard work day. Yep, everything's fine.
Act 2, I have no idea what we're doing.
Yes, exactly. I think you all played it very well, not knowing quite how you were going to infiltrate or get Rekkas out of there. I think you did pretty well, all things considered.
One
Yeah.
murder. But beyond that, it's fine. Casual
Yeah.
uprising.
It's
happens.
casual.
Yeah.
You know, every day, every other day with this place.
Actually, casual uprising is every session so far.
Yes, yeah.
So
It's gonna,
It's
It's
a
gotta be at
daily
least-
revolt.
it's gonna be at least one
We get
death.
paid extra
Yeah.
for lockdown.
some sad
exactly.
supervisor erases the 9 on
Yeah,
the days since last incident sign and puts a 0.
Just crosses out the days and puts hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll end the session off with Darkora. Why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, where we can find you next?
I'm Darkora. You can find me on Twitch at Darkora or on Twitter at Darkora with an underscore after it. Unfortunately, the guy with Darkora hasn't been active in ages. It's really annoying. I don't really do a whole lot on the internet. You can find me there. I'll probably be here next.
Fair enough. Econorlax.
Well, I'm Econorlax. You can find me here on this channel on Tuesday. Most probably, if I remember correctly. Nope,
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
nothing between now and Tuesday.
Wait, I thought
my
today was
schedule.
Tuesday.
Actual Tuesday.
Yeah. It's always
Yeah, actually, it's
Every
always
day.
Tuesday. So
Every day, Tuesday.
yeah, I'll be here in a moment back. Because
Polished. Who are you? Where can we find you next?
Well, I'm Polished. You can find me as Polished Cryptid on both Twitch and Twitter. Next time you'll be able to find me is in roughly 3 or 4 hours when over on my channel we have our Drunk and Meaningful Conversations D&D 5th edition game.
Perfect. Chubby, who are you? Where can we find you next? All that.
I am Chobby. I go by Hallway Secrets here on Twitch, Hallway 7 Secrets on Twitter. Darkora, I feel you about that other person not logging on in years. I want to get rid of that 7 desperately, but here we are. I am sort of a fledgling variety streamer. I plan on doing stuff with JRPGs, Metroidvania style games, some more story driven games, and hopefully some TTRPG content as far as creating rather than playing. But I do like to play all other sorts of places. I don't really have any set roles except for here, and I had a great time on it. So obviously you can find me here every Saturday around 3 p.m. EST. And just check out my Twitter for any more announcements if you care to see me some more.
Right on. And Jem, finish us off.
My name is Yellow Gem. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Yellow Gem, where I make animations and memes. And you'll probably see me be active in a few days if I could get myself out of bed to finish my animation projects.
Nice. And I am Jay, or Jalian on Twitter. I am Alien Jays on Twitch. Actually, no, I'm Alien Jays on Twitter because I also can't get the right username. Thanks, whoever took that one. I make role-playing games. I also play role-playing games. I also write stories. I do voice acting in 0 capacity except when I'm GMing. And other than that, I do stream games occasionally on Twitch. I'm currently blasting through some smaller games, and I will be trying to be more active. Thanks, everybody, for showing up to the first session of Void Cavalcade.
So good.
Yes, thank you. That was awesome.
Cool.
Hello, everyone. That was fantastic. Our cast did an amazing job on that game. So real quickly, I just wanted to say that we're going to go on a raid here in just a moment, but also let you know to head on back around 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're going to have the session 0 of Animus Absentis, which is another sci-fi game where the crew is going to start out without any memory of who they are or what they're doing here or who each other are. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's going to be a fundamental RPG game. Again, 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So definitely head back over here for that. But we're going to go on a raid. We've got our raid cry, which is Happy Tuesday, because at the beginning of the game I forgot it was Saturday and was convinced it was Tuesday. And it was pretty funny. Yeah, we're going to go raid Sigil Entertainment. It's a fantastic channel. I do some occasional streams over there with their Sigil Spotlight, which works with people in the TTRPG industry, showcasing and playing in each other's games. It's really cool. The occasional Thursday I'm over there. So we're going to go give them a raid, and I will see you all later tonight. Bye. So just kidding, they apparently have raids turned off, so we're gonna go raid Dice Priori.